3, 2, 1. Now recording.
Hello and welcome to the Block Update podcast. I am Foxy No-Tail. I'm joined today with Slack Lizard for episode Slack 75. We are
75.
3/4 of the way to 100. Did you ever think this time would come?
No. I can remember back, before TV started, when you were originally doing the podcast about my week and everything else, and I used to listen to it quite often. And what was it? For years, I told you, "Hey, when are you going to do another episode? When are you going to do another episode?" I never realized that I would eventually be part of it, and it would become a weekly thing that we did.
Right? It's amazing. And that's not 175, including the ones I did. That's 75 since we started. So,
wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're doing good. But, Slack, before we start this week's podcast, I have...
Did you call me Sack?
Slack. I've got some bad news, my friend.
No?
Yeah, unfortunately, as much as I really enjoy doing the podcast, and I've enjoyed it every single week, I do have to make a big announcement. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to stop because we've got a patron, a brand new level 2 Minecraft top tier patron that we're going to have to be nice to, and I just don't think I can do it, Slack.
No, there was nowhere in my contract that I signed that said I had to be nice ever. No.
Oh, we don't have to be nice to the top tier patrons. Is that what you're saying?
No, we don't got to be nice to anybody.
So I don't have to
Are
quit.
you trying to say that you're going to? Are you trying to tell me that you're going to conform and adapt? Next, you're going to go ahead and do a sign-off that's going to be the same every week just because certain people want it. Yeah.
No, that's not going to happen. Okay, right. In order to address this, I better start by saying the same thing I say at the beginning of every podcast, which is we are supported by Patreon. If you enjoy the show, then you can help support us by going to patreon.com/the block update. I would like to thank 47 amazing people, including Lactating Monk and now Stitch Fix, who has joined the Minecraft 2.0 tier and are at the top of our leaderboard. The prices are per podcast, which is a lot of money if you're at that level. And the minimum perks you will get are access to our Patreon. In fact, no, it's not. It's cheap. Everyone should be at that level. Access to our Patreon-only feed for bonus content, which we record weekly. Access to our Patreon-only Discord channels and a Discord role. And in this week's bonus show, because we're young, hip, and with it and down with the kids, we talked about curtains.
Curtains and wall tapestries and the end of an era for, duck shot and school holidays, all the fun things. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. There was some good bits in it. So if you want to check that, if you're not in the live show, bear in mind you don't have to be a patron. Shh, don't tell the patrons, but you can listen to the bonus show every week by joining in our Discord and listening live at the same time.
Foxy.
What?
Somebody, this is a live chat thing, but that Jade person just asked if they join the top tier. Does that mean you have to be nice to them?
Well, we just agreed that we don't. So
right. So now, Jade, no, not at all.
So you can listen to it live on the Discord, or you can become a patron and listen to it at your own leisure whenever you want by getting the feed. Right, we have some feedback this week, and I have been looking forward to this because there's one piece of feedback from said new patron that I can't wait to tear a new one from. I'm very excited.
Oh, you mean of the 7 pages of feedback, the one that takes up 3 pages where you've got like 17,000 notes?
Yes, but I'm saving it to the end.
Okay.
Let's get into it with Flash 3636. It says, "Hi Foxy and Slack. I thought the Stitch Fix idea of the enchanted books around the enchantment table was a fantastic idea. I rarely use the table anymore as I can just get the books from the villagers. Your version of the idea would make the enchanting table more practical and fun. It would also mean having a villager trading hall would be less important early game, as you could almost tailor the enchantments you need if done it the right way. Maybe the next update could be a revision of the pillager and villager update to make things better. Sorry for the book. Love the show. Keep up the great work you're doing." I totally agree with you, Flash. I think it was a brilliant idea, but unfortunately, it ain't making the cut because Mr. Lizard is not convinced, Slack.
Nope. Nope. And that was feedback, not, suggestions. So sorry, Flash. If you want a suggestion on that, you need to put that in the wish list idea.
It was feedback because we talked about it in the wish list.
I know,
but
if they wanted to make modifications to it, they should have put it in the wish list.
Well, then we'd have to read it out again. No. Yeah, no, well, I agree with you. But it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Slack just doesn't want it in the wish list.
No, I don't want anything to do with it. No, I don't want nice things in Minecraft. Speaking of that, let's move on to the Eye of the Night, who says, as far as the pricing of things go, I think people often combine the publishing side and the developing side when it comes to games. Often they are separate, at least on paper, which in terms of money and legality is what matters in this scenario. The publishing side of things is quite often in a very different or more powerful position than the development houses.
Yes. So talking about game publishers as opposed to game developers, you can be a relatively small development studio, but be published by a massive, massive game company who do have all the money. And there will be cuts there. There'll be the publisher will be saying, we want X amount from each sale and you're going to get X amount from each sale, and there'll be deals being done there. So going back to what we were talking about last week, which is spoilers, what my favorite piece of feedback this week is all about. There's a lot going on when it comes to game sales. It's not quite as obvious as it would seem. So that would be another reason for probably prices, things being more expensive, because those big old publishers are going to want big old cuts. Because they got the clout, they got the ability. They can say, no, we're not publishing your game unless you give us this.
Yeah. Kind of dirty in a way.
Well, that's and let's save it all for that last one, because I got a lot to say about that. So we'll try and feed it all into that one.
Okay. All
right. White Bush. Okay, now stinkers. Good laugh at my expense last week. I know Java already exists and has mods. I too am an OG player and have been playing Minecraft since version 1.2, and we played tons of modded. I built and hosted our own personally modded server. We loved Buildcraft. I was just looking to hear some discussion on how to possibly make Bedrock modded version for someone who has more inside experience as a marketplace partner. It's tricky, White Bush. I understand what you're saying, and I'm sorry we played with that feedback last week, but it's what I enjoyed doing. And I don't mean any bad stuff to anybody. I wish more people would let me be mean to them every week with feedback. We try not to be. I try and make a joke out of it. Bedrock is getting more and more. I mean, this whole beta API scripting system is literally them going, let's make Bedrock Edition able to be modded, but within reason. Because the reason it's within reason is because they've, at the end of the day, they don't care, let's be honest, about add-on makers and map makers. They care about marketplace sales, and they want better stuff on the marketplace. And people on the marketplace, they know they want modded stuff. But they've also got to put their name on it. They've also got to support it. They've also got to make sure it fits within what Mojang feel is right for the game, which is why there's so many terms and conditions and rules that you have to go through to publish any content on the marketplace. But that doesn't mean, because these tools are being publicly available, it doesn't mean that we won't get more modded stuff. It just means it's going to be modded. It's going to be modded but limited. But you can do crazy stuff with that now that is verging on stuff you could do with Java, because you're no longer creating entities and custom items. You're writing programming code that talks to the game. And while some of that is limited in what it can do, some of it's also incredibly powerful. So I don't think we need a new version of Bedrock Edition just for modders. I think we just need to embrace what Mojang have given us for free and make some cool stuff with it, like I've been doing.
Yeah. And then additionally, on top of that, the modded community for Java Edition is way older than the one for Bedrock Edition. Just give it time. Yeah, more stuff is coming out on a consistent basis.
I used to agree with that sentiment, and I certainly think that is the case with the fact that more and more of these tools are becoming available. But the Java Edition modding scene was there from practically day one. And Bedrock Edition's like 10 years old now.
It may be 10 years old, but it's still, if you still say Minecraft to this day, most people are going to think Java Edition still, probably.
I think
not Bedrock.
The thing is, there hasn't been a serious big mod for Bedrock. If you go to websites like MCPDL and just fish around the internet, there's millions of mod packs out there that replicate certain things that you can do on Java. Some of them are not very good. Some of them are great. I wouldn't go on that website and download stuff myself because I have suffered from viruses from there before. I'll never go back again. But if you can get hold of those things that's on there safely, some of them are fantastic. It's just difficult knowing what's what. The difference with Java Edition is content creators pick up these things and go, wow, this is a really cool mod pack. You should all play this. And it becomes popular. And as soon as something becomes popular because a content creator's done it, everyone wants it. And then the developers get all excited about it, the mod developers, and they're like, oh, let's make it even better. And then like versions of it come out, people tweak it and change it and add other things to it, and it evolves over time. And we haven't had that big mod on Bedrock that someone's sort of gone, wow, this is the one to grab hold of. But I guarantee you, this time next year, probably, that will exist, because I've already been thinking most of these, like, the mods that I was playing on Java, I had my own mod pack that was just basically a load of mods stuck together, like the not the building one, the electricity ones and the wireless redstone ones and the automatic crafting machines. That's all possible now with this beta API stuff. So it's just a matter of somebody actually having the time to do it, to learn it and to do it. I could do it. I've thought about doing it, but it's too much time. I haven't got the time to do it. And as somebody just making mods for free, you don't earn any money from it. And I'm at that point in my life, if I'm not earning money from what I'm doing, I can't waste my time. So
Exactly, because this has become, a career.
Yeah, so I make little add-ons. I make little add-ons that I need when I need them. I don't make big ones for the fun of it anymore because I can't afford the time to do it. So, yeah, it's coming.
Indeed. Let's see. Stitch Fix next?
Yeah, but not this. This isn't the one, guys. You just wait.
No, this isn't the one. Okay, Stitch Fix says, Flash. This idea would dial back to the villagers since they always say how overpowered they are. I really like the adaptation Foxy suggested with the chiseled bookshelves. That way the books you learn can be added to the shelves, and then you have the chance to only getting those books, but still leaves a bit of chance on the table once had. That way you still only have the ability to enchant with the books you've already earned, but not the ones you don't want. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I totally agree. Which is unusual because I don't normally agree with Stitch Fix on anything at all, but I do. I find myself very much in agreement on this one. And not just because they're a top tier patron now, just genuinely. There you go. Bizhauser says, regarding Foxy's comment to revert to pre-1.18 terrain, I like and have thought of Thax this time, slag. Slider option before. If the videos that show how the Minecraft world is generated are true, a movable slider would just allow for variables used to generate the world to change higher or lower, correct? Then more or less vertical height could be adjusted. Similarly, why not give a slider for everything based on how the player would like to play? For someone who doesn't like to mine as much, let them increase the various resources. If someone doesn't want to search the world for new features, say trail runes for example, let them increase the loot chance % on those structures. We're not completely against each other on a single leaderboard. We're not competing against each other on a single leaderboard. So what would be the downside for Mojang to let us easily customize the world generation and its contents to give each person the most enjoyable experience? World seeds would no longer match, but that functionality would just be lost if one choose to customize their world. Thanks to the great shows. I couldn't agree with you more. Why can't we have it our way? Why can't we have sliders? Why not? There's an argument that the simpler things are, the more enjoyable they are, and that goes a long way. Look at Apple and phones, things like that. Apple has made millions, trillions, in fact, by having an OS for their phone that was simple and easy and locked you out from breaking it and doing things you shouldn't be doing. And it fit for the masses. It didn't work for everyone, which is why you still have a lot of people enjoying Android, because it's more flexible. It allows you to do more things. It's not as restrictive. But a lot of people just want to turn their phone on and make a phone call or send a text message or read the internet. And Apple are brilliant at giving you a user interface that allows you to do that. And I think a lot of technology companies over the last 10 years or so have been trying to take a leaf out of that book. Look at Windows 11. Your right-click menu's gone, unless you hold shift down or you click more options, because they want to simplify it and make it suitable and easier for everyone, which is great because the majority of people playing Bedrock Edition are probably people that don't care. But there are a massive, massive group of people that do care. So having that hidden away somewhere in an option, I don't see that's a problem. If they put it right in everyone's faces, yeah, I could see that'd be a problem for a lot of players that don't want it. But if it was like, another tab in the advanced world options that was like, here's all your customizable stuff, why not?
Yeah. One of my favorite seasons of Hammercraft was the one where they cranked up the number of mob spawners.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody's like, oh, I got a double. And they're like, double was so last, season. And they're sitting there at like a quintuplet, Yeah, why don't we have more sliders? That'd be nice. Just everything. Could you imagine cranking up the number of structures that spawn? Let's say by default, the lowest setting is how it is now. So you get like one witch hut per region. Could you imagine if you cranked that up and said like max and you could get like 6 per region?
It'd be incredible. Yeah. And why not?
Doubles or triples. Yeah, it'd be fun.
Or if they won't do it in vanilla, give us that ability to do that with these add-ons and things, because that's one thing we can't do. We can't affect things like world generation and like the interface side of things. Give us the ability to do that. Let us do it. Why not?
That could be a lot of fun.
They allow us to. One of the things that they brought out, which was a bit of it was very quiet, the release of this. It is public knowledge now, but it was very quiet. They gave us the ability to restrict the overworld height with an add-on, and basically they gave us a new folder inside of add-ons called Dimensions. But the only one that you could use was the overworld, and there was me getting all excited, thinking, "Oh, we're going to get we're going to be able to adjust the dimensions," and it basically allowed you to say, drop the build limit. And what it would do, you could say what the bottom of the world should be and where the top of the world should be, but it wouldn't like put Bedrock in different places or change world generation. It would just cut off anything outside of those bounds. And the idea for that was that if you were a map maker making super flat worlds, you didn't want all of that extra processing going on to process everything up to 320 and down to minus 64. You only need it from like 0 to 64. And it would massively increase the performance of the game by cutting off stuff you don't need. So if they just put a little bit more time and effort into those, that'd be good.
Yeah. It would.
Right, it's you next, isn't it, with Flash?
Flash says, hi, Foxy and Slack. Myself and Mrs. Flash put the little, plus the little ones. Love the show. Been watching live through Discord for a bit now. Last week's show was possibly one of the most entertaining I've seen. So it didn't seem right not to support you on Patreon. So we did. I'll say thank you very much for that, by the way. I wish it could be more, but please keep up the great work. Best wishes to you both. Slack, definitely move back to the UK. We will be better for your input here, I think.
Yes, totally agree. Well done, Flash, and thank you so much. That's amazing.
Thank you very much.
Do you know, not you, Slack, but the people listening, you could be like Flash. You could think, do you know what, I really enjoyed this week's show, so I'm just for a week, just going to click that Patreon button and help these guys out. Make them know that I enjoyed it and help it be worthwhile and something that they can carry on doing for the future.
Yep. Yeah. For many, many more episodes.
Yeah.
Help us get to 100. Yep.
We might even get to 100 if we get 100 patrons before we get to 100, we'll do the 100th episode. Otherwise, we're just going to quit at 99. What do you think, Slack? Seems fair, doesn't it?
That's a bit rough.
Zenban16 says, Foxy, I can relate to your experience of hordes of zombie piglins spawning. I was working on the room for my tiny Netherside Ancient City portal as part of my recent Nether Tunnel project. I had spent at least 30 minutes in the area, only seeing a few zombie piglins in total, less than 15. Then I just popped into the portal to get some more glow lichen, and I landed in a sea of zombie piglins in my ancient city. There must have been over 100 of them in there. Yeah, I took some screenshots if anyone wants to see. So glad I hadn't aggroed any of them somehow. Jeez. Do you think it's a bit broken, the zombie piglin spawning in 120? Because that was a lot in my portal.
Look, I'm telling you right now that they should just take that, zombie piglins spawning from a portal thing, like, down, if not out. There's so many other viable ways. Look, you can get a gold farm in the nether, and it's not that much work to do. Yeah, there's other viable options. It's not needed. It's not needed at all. Where's the name of parody in that, right?
But they're really easy to build gold farms.
Maybe it should only work in the nether and not in the overworld.
They shouldn't work at all. They are the cheatiest gold farms in existence. You shouldn't be able to make a portal-ticking gold farm. That is cheating.
I totally agree.
It's like a zero-tick kelp farm, and I would never use those.
Zero-tick kelp farms, not even on the same category as a portal-ticking gold farm.
It is. No. It's cheating piglins into the game. It's cheating things into the game.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. Can you remove that with a behavior pack?
No. Oh, no. It's hard-coded. No, but yeah, I agree. Nerf it. Get rid of it.
Yep. Wow. Yeah. Can we go ahead and just make that a good idea right now? I know it's a feedback.
Jeez. Good. Oh, hang on. I'm on the wrong one here.
Oh, that's wrong section.
Yeah. That one.
I don't think the live chat likes it, but I do. It's a good idea. Yeah.
Get
good.
rid of ticking portal farms. Good idea. Right, I'm going to just throw that into the good ideas thing just so that I don't forget it when I come to write these down. There we go. Okay, next piece of feedback, please, Mr. Lizard, if you wouldn't mind.
Squirrelicious, right? Yep. Can't quite believe I got 2 wish list items in the good idea bin last week without any modifications. Still loving the podcast, guys. Keep up the great work.
They must have been blooming good ideas. That's all I can say.
Yep. My stuff.
Yeah. You're obviously on Slack's wavelengths there, Squirrel. Irish Viking. God, you're all waiting, aren't you, for that big one? That big one that I'm getting all excited for. There's a few to go yet, guys. Got a lot of feedback this week. Irish Viking.
I don't think the
Go on.
I don't think the live chat likes our idea of getting rid of the portal ticking goat farm. I'm just putting that out there as a minor thing.
It's gone. It's too late.
They're all screaming no. It's gone. It's bye. Yep.
Irish Viking says, hey, Foxy and Slack, in regards to the iron golem bug I posted about last week, yes, Slack, you can cause them to spawn and immediately take suffocation damage and die. On Foxy's Patreon server, I built a combination trading hall iron farm around a double spawner zombie/skeleton and set it up so every level is 2 blocks high. The beds are on the level above the villagers, and the golems, before the update, spawned above those. Now they spawn on the level below the beds with the villagers and die there. Kind of annoying since I have to run around and pick up the iron. Anyway, sorry for the book. Love the podcast. Always look forward to it. There you go.
Good talk, spawning condition changes.
Thanks. Really looking forward to updating Truly Bedrock to the latest versions to get all of these lovely bugs people keep telling us. Was it Silent posted in the chat the other day, why haven't we updated yet? And every single week I read through the Bugdate and I read through all of the bugs that's going on. I'm like, I don't think we should update yet. I like it in what we're on, 1.20.1. Oh, we're not even in 0.1, are we? 0.0.
No, 0.0, yeah. Oh, God.
Jeez.
Okay, Tiny Raccoon's up next. It says, regarding episode length, as much as we were saying that 2 hours is about right, I feel like this one will be a bumper episode due to the sheer amount of feedback. Looking forward to it as always.
Tiny Raccoon predicting the future there, obviously reading the feedback channel, which is on the Discord server. You can join that too and see how much feedback we've got and then determine, should I write some? Should I save it for next week? Or should I just not bother? Totally up to you.
You know, they can't see the feedback that comes from, the forum.
No, we didn't get that much on the forum this week, thankfully, though. It wasn't like 400 pages long of just nonsense, which is good. And I think that probably because the people that have been sending that have realised it's not getting through and have stopped sending it. So that's good. I think we got like 10 things on the feedback form.
They're not reading my jokes anymore.
Hey, I built a thing in Minecraft this week. It was really good. Thanks for the bug date you've just posted. Right.
Yeah.
Nyquist sample is back, saying, "Hey, Foxy and Slack, my username is based on the Nyquist sampling theorem in the communication field. Nyquist was taken on most of the platforms, so I decided to add the sample at the end, and your comment about my name had me chuckling. As far as the frustration from user error, I understand, but that shouldn't deter you from continually building all of these useful tools. As a user that watches your videos and uses your tools, they're a game changer. Keep up the good work and thanks for all you do for the game." So this is in response to me saying I ain't making Guardian spawn spots because people put it in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed a certain friend of yours, Slack, put out a pack this week, which was pretty fancy. Very much a good old twist on the My Markers pack thingy with some really cool technical features on there that I would never have thought of in a million years, which did Guardian spawn spots and ticking areas and regions. It was amazing. So if you want
you're talking about the headers resource pack. Yeah, that was an update video because he's constantly modifying that pack.
Yeah, so bin off My Markers pack one. It's a load of junk. Get Hatter's Bedrock admin tools thing. It's pretty much very similar, apart from I don't know. I feel like it's probably my fault that he's gone to give the armor stand a million different items instead of just using a banner or a different item and changing the pose, probably because he thought it would be copying what I've done. But I wish he would have done, because the frustration I had watching that was it was a very long video, but by the time he got to the second or third one, I'm thinking, what was the first item? What am I supposed to give the armor stand? Which is why I guess
that's the biggest problem I have with his pack. It's like, oh, you want to see Guardian spawn spots? Well, you need to put, a Prismarine shard in it. You want to see this? You need to put this in it. And I'm just like, huh?
Just give it one item, a torch, a banner, a block, whatever, and then just use the pose change.
Well, that's my pack is a custom one. I don't have a video on my pack, but my pack uses, it's got chunk borders in it. It's got Guardian spawn spots. It's got spawn spheres. But that's why when I play on TB, I have to delete the markers pack because I also use Structura files.
Well,
and those two, I can't use the markers pack and Structura at the same time. So I have to constantly switch around my packs to get what I want. Yeah.
The advantage of these packs, and excuse me a minute, I'm getting I can't turn my fan on. It's not plugged in at the wall. Jeez. The advantage of these packs is that they're a resource pack. So they don't affect achievements. You can use them on any world, which is great. The problem with them is they do conflict with other packs that use armor stands and things like that.
Yeah.
The only way you can get around that is to have a custom entity or a custom something.
That's what I was just about to say. Could we just come up with like a all right, so leave armor stands alone, but come up with like how you did with the avatars. Can we make an avatar for chunk borders? Can we make an avatar for this and that and that and this?
Yes, you could, but then it becomes an add-on, which means if it's not on the server you're playing on, it's not going to work. And if you want achievements, it's not going to work. So it's a real shame that the only thing really in the game we've got that allows you to do that, because it's stationary, it goes where you put it, and it's got multiple poses. You can give it items, which means you can give it lots of information, is the armor stand. The only real other way you'd be able to do it would be like if you name tag something. I don't even know how that would work, but yeah.
Well, I know you can name tag, like say you got a cow. Go ahead and plug in your fan. Say you name tag a cow and you got a specific file for it. You can change the skin on it based on the name tag. Now, could that work with armor stands as well?
Not without a behavior pack. Yes and no. I was trying to do that the other day, actually. And I couldn't find any more. There used to be a way you could get the name tag of the item, but they've changed a few of the queries that you used to use to get that. And now you only get the entity's like full name, like Minecraft pig or Minecraft chicken, rather than the entity's actual name. So I'm sure there must be a way of doing it. I was probably just having a tired, thick moment. But yeah.
Now, I know Fond Unicycle is the one that made the pack that I know Fearless uses it. Where he renames mobs and it gives them a different skin.
Yeah, you can definitely do that with behavior pack, because you can do that inside the actual entity's file, and you can basically run a filter if it's got a name.
But I know it's not a behavior pack because he uses it on Slackville, and Slackville's vanilla.
Really? Okay. So it must still be possible with a resource pack then. I was just having a thick moment. Because I was going to say, I've done it before.
Yeah.
I was looking for it the other day because I wanted to do that. Remember I was talking about the Dyed Elytra pack that I'm going to be doing a video on?
Yep.
I wanted to do it for that, but I couldn't find it anywhere. But then that was for items rather than for entities. So maybe that's the difference.
That was for items rather than entities. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, is the armor stand's technically an entity, isn't it? I mean,
yes,
if I give you the name tag,
the armor stand is, but for the Diable Elytra, I wanted to do it with the thing on your back, the item that you're wearing, rather than the entity.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Anyway, we're squirreling. Yep.
Yes. Next one is Starhammer, and then the next one's my favorite one.
Starhammer says, "Great show. Loved hearing the pups in the background. Made me think of being at home instead of on the road. Keep up the great work." Well, you're welcome. And trust me, he will bark anytime that he wants.
Thank you very much, Starhammer.
I don't control him. He controls me.
Yeah, that's dogs for you. Okay, are you ready, peeps, for a 3-page long piece of feedback that I have notes coming out of the wazoo for from Stitch
Come
Fix?
here. I need attention for this. Come here. Yeah.
That says, this is Slack's talking to his dog, by the way, not me, by the way. Just letting you know, people listening that's not watching. Foxy, how's your day? I have to comment here. When it comes to how much a game costs, you're breaking down costs as a small business or a brand new business, explaining the break-even point when a business starts with nothing and has no break-even before they even make profit. An indie game could be justified using the scenario you're explaining. A massive company, on the other hand, I do not agree with. These massive companies continue to make millions while charging consumers ridiculous fees. Take retailers charging the customer a percentage of their bill just to use a credit card. Technically, it's fraud. Right, okay, that's not it. But I am going to cut this into chunks. Because there's a lot going on. Now, obviously, I only have experience from somebody that's lived in the UK, somebody that's worked in the UK, and somebody that's run businesses for many, many years in the UK, somebody that did accounts for businesses for many, many years in the UK, somebody that did VAT returns and tax rebates for many, many years for companies in the UK. Basically, when it comes to business running, entrepreneurship, accounts, tax, that sort of thing, I have done it, been it, seen it, and I have done like 10 to 15 years experience in it. So I think I'm relatively well up. Now, these were for relatively small companies. I will give you that. But experience is experience. So let me just dig into this from a UK's perspective, because I think it will be very similar to a US one. When you use your credit card or your cash card or your debit card in a shop, it is a convenience for the customer. The shop, I'm sure, the retailer would much rather you were giving them cash, right, than using your card. Because whenever they have to process a transaction, it costs them money. So, like in the UK, we don't get charged in many shops. In fact, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I know they exist. And most retailers swallow the cost of the card fees. And if you go to somewhere like a corner shop for a Mars bar or something small, a pack of Polos or something like that, and you pay on your card, they actually lose money because they have a minimum transaction fee per card, which is absolutely crazy. So smaller shops like that would much prefer to take cash for multiple reasons. One is that they don't have to pay a fee to the credit card company or to the bank to actually process the transaction. And the other one is a little bit more cheeky, but they don't have to always put it in the till. So that's that. So it's not fraud in any stretch of the imagination for a company to pass that fee on to the customer, because that's just, they're saying, if you want to buy this and use your card, there is this cost attached to it because we have to pay it. So, you want the convenience of using your card in our shop, it comes at a premium. And that's no different to those ATMs that you have standing in your shop. The ATMs, not the ones on the actual wall that are free, that are paid for and run by the banks, but the ones in the shop, the convenience ATMs that charge you like £1.50 to draw out £5 or £10. It's a convenience. You're paying for convenience. It's not fraud. Nothing like fraud at all, under any stretch of the imagination. But Stitch Fix goes on.
Yeah.
Go on, Slack.
No, but I can also think of many companies around here that you're talking about as a convenience fee. Okay, so I can go online and pay my electric bill,
Mm.
and I have to pay a $3.50 processing fee.
Yes.
Because, it's convenient for me to pay at home.
Yes.
If I go pay my electric bill in person, they charge me a $5 cash fee.
Well, there's always ways of making money, Slag. But don't forget, when you go in and do it in person, somebody has to be sat there, they're being paid a wage to deal with you directly. So,
okay, well, how come this is not included already in the bill then? How come for me to pay my bill, no matter how I pay it, I've got to pay extra?
Well, the other way of doing it, which is what they do in the UK, is they just hide that fee in the cost of the electricity. So they don't say, hey, here's your bill and here's the fees. They're just
I guarantee you there's hidden
bill.
extra fees in there to line their pockets anyway. But why is there, you were talking about how it's a convenient fee just for cards. There's several other companies. I can think of several stores that do the same thing.
Yeah.
You want to pay with card? It's free to pay with the card. But if you want to pay with cash, oh no, we got to charge you to pay in cash now.
That's bizarre. That's totally wrong. That's backwards. So whoever's doing that...
Because they're trying to do it, without going into conspiracy theories or craziness, it's like they're trying to do away with cash.
Yeah,
I mean, you take
not?
$50, okay? If I go pay something with $50 to you, you have $50, okay? But if I go pay for something with my card that costs $50, I have to pay, they're going to take a $1.50 transaction fee out of that. And then if you go pay for something, they're going to take another $1.50 out of that. So after 2 transactions, we're already down $3. And if it keeps going and keeps going, after a while, everything's going to end up in the bank. There ain't going to be no $50.
No, and this all comes from the banks. All of these fees don't come from the shop. They don't come from the retailer. They come from the bank. They come from the companies that are dealing with the money. And if they didn't, no one would ever get interest in the bank. The bank wouldn't be able to afford to give you a loan or a mortgage or anything like that, because the only money the bank would have would be the money people put in. They won't be making any more. Banks make money from investing the money you put in as safely as they can, but also from all the fees that they charge businesses. And if they didn't do that, we wouldn't have houses, we wouldn't have mortgages, we wouldn't have loans or credit cards. We would just have the money we have. So this is a convenience fee. It's a necessary fee. It's annoying. We all hate it, but it is necessary. Looking at the chain of events that go through. If it didn't exist, we would have a bad time.
My biggest argument with this is that the convenience fee for the card. Well, in America, we're starting to see a convenience fee for using cash.
Yeah. Well, that's because the person doesn't want to take the cash to the bank and have to deal with a walk to the bank. But in the good old days, that's what used to happen. Anyway, okay, Stitch Fix continues.
Back to Stitch.
I used to work for Discover about 8 years ago and could have changed, but it could have changed since, but I highly doubt it. Anyway, most of these expenses you decide. This is the bit I like the most. Pardon? Say again.
You skipped the part above that. Discover
specifically states in their agreement with sorry, I'm going back because I've missed a bit. Discover specifically states in the agreement between Discover and the retail company, the retailer has to pay the fee, but they push it off onto the customer. And my note here is that the agreement, as you've pointed out there, is between Discover and the retailer. If the consumer is paying it, then the retailer will be passing on that payment to Discover. They ain't pocketing it. So that's up to the retailer. The retailer's not breaking any rules. They've not broken the contract. They're just passing on that fee to the consumer because it's a convenience fee. And like I say, they have to pay it. And then the Discover will have to pay it because that'll have to go back to the bank. No, they might be making a couple of, like, 1% on there. They might be making some money on it. You'd be daft if you ran a business trying to not make any profit. If there's money being transferred between one person and the next, there's a good opportunity to make a small amount of profit on little fees like this. Why shouldn't they? They're a business at the end of the day. Businesses exist to make money. Yep. There's points where it's ridiculous and obscene, but when that happens, people don't spend money, People only buy things that they want, and if people want it enough, they buy it. And we'll get to that later. Yep. So anyway, I used to work for Discover about 8 years ago, and it could have changed since, but I highly doubt it. Anyhow, most of the expenses you describe, the company can write off in their taxes. Of course. Everybody knows that tax is free money. Let's have a lesson in tax, shall we, on this Minecraft podcast. Somebody that did tax returns for many, many years, I can tell you that tax return, a tax rebate, a tax refund is not free money. If you are a big enough company, and this will apply to the US as well, if you have hit a certain size, in the UK, you can either become tax registered as soon as you want by applying, or once you've hit a certain size of income or profit or turnover over every year, you have to become tax registered. When you're tax registered, everything you buy that you pay tax on, which is everything, because everything's taxed, you can claim that money back. Great, you get the tax back. So you're only paying for the product, not the tax. But if you are tax registered, everything you sell, you have to add tax on, and the bank takes that back. So the only time you ever win with a tax return is if you are losing money. If you are making money, if you are in profit, then you are always in negative tax because you have spent more, you have spent less than you've earned. Therefore, you have spent less tax than you have brought in, or the other way around. You've brought in more tax than you've spent, basically. If you are in profit, if you're a profitable company, you will always lose on a tax return. You might get some back, but it's still money that's already gone out. You don't get free money. There's no tax write-off. A tax write-off is them just going, oh, well, we're going to get the okay, my wife works, she's got a company. If she buys my computer at home for me, I don't have to pay the tax on it because she can put it through the company. Great. Or a big company can go, well, we can buy this person a company car because we don't have to pay the tax on it because we'll get the tax back. But they won't. They're only getting a certain portion of that tax back unless they're losing money. If their company is not profitable, then yes, they'll get more tax back than they've paid. And at which point they're earning money on tax, but they're still losing money on the business. So that's not a good business position to be in because that means you're not earning any money. So there's no free money. There's no free tax bait. There's no getting money for free. But what you can do with these tax returns, once you've got to the end of the year and you've calculated it all and you've found out how much tax you've got to pay at the end of the year, you've got, in the UK, you've got your corporation tax, then you've got all your other taxes, and you work out how much value-added tax, VAT we call it in the UK, is how much are you going to get or how much are you going to spend? And at first, when you've worked out how much you've got to pay because how much you've sold, it's like, wow, I've got £10,000 worth of tax I've got to pay. But then once you've done it the other way and you've taken off all of the tax that you've spent on things, it goes down to, actually, I've only got £2,000 worth of tax that I've got to pay on VAT and then my corporation tax. So you're always losing money on tax. The government always wins, and it's not the same terminology, but it'll be the same for the US. There's no free money when it comes to tax. So there's no tax write-offs. Jeez.
You feel better?
No. Stitch Fix continues. Why does the consumer have to pay that price of the video game? And I've put in my notes, have you heard of supply and demand? So basically what we said earlier, if something is worth something, someone will pay it. And the more people want that thing, the more they can charge for it. That's supply and demand. The more people want it, the more they've got to manufacture, the more they have to ramp up things, the more staff they have to have, basically, as people need more from a company, that company has to grow to accommodate the demand. And therefore, not only does the price go up because obviously, we're not charging enough for this, people will pay more. Yes, that's good for our back pockets, but they've also got to put that money back in to expand the company in order to be able to cover that demand. So yes, the company's going to win. It's always going to be profitable because that's the point of being a company. Nothing should be free, right? Companies can't work for free. If they worked on a zero profit, they will go bust the next time they make a bad business decision, or they'll go bust the next time they make a bad game. Jeez. Goods and services continue to rise, but my wages don't. And I've just put that's a different subject altogether. It does. It sucks. Inflation goes up way faster than wages. That's just life. It's difficult. How do you deal with that? It's awful. Go on strike, join a union. Do your best. Go and speak to your boss. Work harder and get acknowledged for working hard at work and ask for a pay rise. There are really bad options, but there are some. That's the cost of doing business. P.S. I also have a degree in business management, small business, human resource management, and entrepreneurship, which is very, very, commendable. Have you got any actual experience in those? If you have, then great. But my experience clearly different from yours. By the way, this is not me saying I think all these things should be free. I'm not. As an entrepreneur myself, I will not sell things I make because people are not willing to pay what it's worth. And I've put here, if people won't pay what it's worth, then it's not worth as much as you think it is. Worth is not something you can determine as a seller. It's how much a consumer is prepared to pay for something. So you might think your time's really valuable. You might think you've made an incredible product. You might have put an absolute fortune into developing it, creating it. It might, like, per product that you create, and you calculate all your costs, you think, well, that's worth this much because that's how much it cost. But if someone won't buy it, it ain't worth it. So you've got a bad product. You've got a bad process. And unfortunately, that's, again, bad. It sucks, but that's life. You're not always going to be on a winner. You know, how many billions do you think Apple would have put into research, development, planning and everything to create the first iPhone on the hope that it was worth something? And now people think it's worth it. They absolutely think it's worth it. And now they're charging through the nose to get that money back and then some. And they are ripping everyone off. Otherwise, it wouldn't be celebrating like taking Jeff Bezos' money for Prime Twitch subs. And I've put, again, this is a totally different scenario. We're talking about game development, which is hand to mouth. Amazon is a continued business practice with very little risk and can afford to do things more cheaply without a risk of going out of business on the next bad game they produce. A game development studio is only as rich as their next game. If their next game does badly, they lose money. They've got to have a float. They've got to have cash in the bank to cover that. They can't guarantee that every game they make is going to be successful. They can't guarantee that the player base isn't going to change and that trends change. With the number of years it takes to develop a game, they can start a game that's trendy and current right now, but by the time it's released in 5 years' time, it might be old news. People might not want it. So they've got to have cash. Amazon is doing the same thing every single day. They can make any changes they want to make without much risk. So they can afford to do it more cheaply. They're not going to go bust overnight because, you know, they added a different partner to the marketplace and they didn't sell many products. Then Stitch Fix continues. The rich get richer. The working man gets done over. That's not the word she used, but that's the one I'm going to say. And I've put very, very true. Money comes to money. The more money you have, the more money you can make. You can invest it. You can invest in things, not just like stocks and shares and things like that, but you can invest into enterprises. You can have a more efficient living. That's just how life is. And this is an argument I had with my son, Jack. He's recently just done a law and economics A-level, no, two different ones. And we were talking about economics, and he couldn't get his head around the fact that why rich people are allowed to have so much money, because it's not fair. And I said, the reason rich people have a lot of money, and this is generalizing, this is very, very much generalizing, this is not always the case, i.e., case in point, people like sports stars and celebrities don't live by these rules. But your average person that's got a lot of money from working hard, generally speaking, compared to somebody that doesn't have much money, won't spend much money. They might live in a big house, but that'll be worth a lot of money. But they won't drive the best car necessarily. They might have a nice one, but it won't be the best one. You go around the house, they won't have big TVs. They won't be spending lavish amounts on clothes and holidays and all those sorts of things. You compare somebody that's really well off because they've worked hard to somebody that's on the breadline, and that person on the breadline needs to value their life by the things they have because they don't have anything. So they're more likely to spend money on things that will risk their money on gambling and scratch cards and things like that. They're more likely to have things that make them look like they're valuable, like nice clothes, expensive holidays, big TVs, games consoles. It's just what people do that are at the lower end in order to make themselves feel valuable. And so other people look at them and go, wow, they must be doing all right. Whereas people that have got that money don't need to do it. So they don't spend as much money, and they're earning money on interest, and they're earning money on investment. So yeah, once you've got a pile of money, it's dead easy to make money. But you've got to have a pile of money first. Jeez. Anyway, Stitch finishes by saying, don't by any means take this as negative or me being upset. I'm not. It's just a conversation, a point of view. I don't take it that way, Stitch Fix, and I hope you don't see my rebuttal as a negative or angry response either. I thoroughly enjoyed doing that, and I hope that somebody, in yourself or someone else, comes back to me and tells me how wrong I am, and then we can do this all again next week, because that was good fun. Jeez. What do you think, Slack? Am I right or am I wrong?
My brain went to mush when you got into taxes. Yeah.
You never win against the government. There's no free money. Jeez. Okay, that is it for the feedback. If you would like to leave us feedback, please do by emailing us at news@theblockupdate.com, filling out the feedback form on our website, which is theblockupdate.com, or joining the Discord, the links for which are in the description below. Whew. Right, it's time to go into
How
the
about
news.
a drink? Yeah, you just went on like a 45-minute tear. Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that.
Were you ever part of a debate team? Out of
No,
curiosity?
I wasn't. I wish I had now. Jeez, that was good fun. Right, news, peeps. It is news time. We've had a bit of news this week, believe it or not. Starting with the brand new stable release of Minecraft 1.20.13 for iOS devices, which fixed a crash that could occur on iOS. Brilliant. Thanks for that, Mo Yang. What's the point?
That's yeah, good changelog there.
Okay, the next piece of news is a big one, and it genuinely is. We're not joking. Minecraft Beta and Preview 1.20.20.22 came out last week after the podcast this time, and there's a whole bunch of very interesting things in here, so much so I haven't actually had time to go through it all, but we have made some notes, haven't we, Slack?
Yes.
The good news is, for everybody worried about the rabbits, polar bears, and items, they're no longer going to levitate on top snow, so that's good. Whew. Weight off my mind, Slack.
Okay.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The breath meter now refills when swimming with the head above the water. Did you hear about this one? Was that on the podcast?
Yeah. Where we had to look up. Yeah. To get your breath back. Yeah. That was nice.
That's good. And big news. The crawling experimental toggle has been removed, and the crawling under one block gaps is now fully implemented into the game as of this update, which will be out next month, which is crazy. Short sneaking and now crawling out of experimental so fast. Such massive changes to the game, the mechanics, the gameplay. I can't believe how quick they've come out of experimental. That's shocked me.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
And recipe unlocking, considering that was in experimental for a week.
Yep.
They're really pushing this parity hard. So.
Yep. Let's go ahead and get the portal ticking goat farms out of the way too.
Yeah. They've fixed missing low disk space, warning on Xbox, which is nice. What else have we got that I've made notes on? User interface changes. Okay. There's a bunch of scripting stuff here, but this is what really excites me. Another thing coming out of experimental, which I did not expect anytime soon, mainly because it's not finished, and that is the camera command will no longer require experimental toggle, which now means I have got a mountain ahead of me when it comes to work, because I need to have my pack ready for the marketplace before this update comes out, so I can be the first one in there. And that's not going to happen. I've probably got a month's worth of work to do in about 2 weeks, which is not good. So
you got this. You got this. What is the release the Minecraft wearable item component out of experimental as well?
Well, this is interesting. That's one of the 2 features in my Magnet Boots pack that I made recently that were still in experimental, requiring the holiday features. So a Minecraft wearable component is that you can put it on an item to tell the game it needs to be a piece of armor. So wearable on the head or the chest or the legs or the feet.
So for like mini blocks on the head.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't say that it's armor. It doesn't allow you to have protection value, but it does say that it's wearable. So you can put it in that item slot. It's also the one that you would use for the offhand as well. So that's now out of experimental, which is very fancy. I wasn't expecting that.
Pretty good.
Now, this one irks me some. Do you remember my big old rant about experimental custom biomes?
Biomes, yep.
The fact that they don't work at all. The only thing that works is the fact that the feature rules that you can change, right? But the other stuff, the actual custom biomes, which it is called experimental custom biomes, doesn't work. But regardless of that, they've made the one thing that does work in the pack actually come out of experimental. So they clearly are actually doing something with these experiments, which must mean that they've just completely forgotten about giving us custom biomes and just gone, oh, well, they don't need them. We'll just make it so that they can have a custom ore feature or a custom cave feature, which is nice. It means we can adjust the vanilla biomes with it to an extent. We still can't make a plains and ocean. We can't make anything flat with the height's going to be the same as it was, but we can have different features going on within the vanilla biomes, which is nice, I guess. But that's really annoying that they haven't even mentioned fixing the other things that's wrong with that.
No.
Apparently, I'm not up to date with UK rules, it says here.
They've been talking a lot in chat.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot.
Put it in the feedback. Save it for next week. Jeez. Okay. The items, again, I don't know why. Look, so this was to do with items up here, but then then in items, another one, Minecraft Digger is now out of experimental. So that's the ability to make a tool, something that actually digs. So you can make a tool and you can give it values of what types of blocks should be mined at what speed. Basically, made it a digger.
So we can make a deep slate pick, right? That mines it instantly.
Yeah, we can have a totally non-experimental deep slate insta-mineable pickaxe now, which is nice. So there we go.
Yes, please.
And then there's a whole bunch of stuff to do with the API system. Now, it says here, I don't understand this, but it says it's moved all of these things, and these are things I use a lot, to 1.4.0. But it normally says if they've come out of experimental, it would say stable, but it doesn't mention that they've been released. It just says they've been moved. So I don't know if that just means they've moved it to the next version because we're on the next version now. I don't know. So maybe these are out of experimental, maybe not. We will find out. Anyway,
Indeed.
That's a lot of big news. Very, very big news for Minecraft 1.20.20 coming up. And it must be coming pretty fast because the next changelog, which released today, has nothing in it. It fixed several crashes that could occur during gameplay. And
Can we get more vague?
Fixed an issue where the blaze wouldn't get knocked back on hit and would have an extended invincibility frames. So there you go. Blaze will be a bit easier to kill and will be knocked back further.
Can we be more cryptic with, crashes and stuff? Never mind. No,
Slack.
I'm not.
No, Slack. We must not. We must not ask questions. We just listen and we get what we want. We got. I'm going to go over to this brand new website now, Slack. It's called x.com. And I'm going to load up tweets.
Don't even get me started on that. Don't even get me started on that.
According to Cornerhard, one of the developers we very, very much like on the podcast here, Minecraft Realms are now accessible directly from the Minecraft launcher. Now, this will show you both Bedrock Edition Realms and Java Edition Realms. And if you've got a Java Edition Realm, it will allow you to go straight into the world from the launcher without having to load the game up first. Although it does have to load the game up to put you into the world. But you know what I mean? You don't have to go through the menus. You just go straight into it. I tried it for Bedrock. It just loads up your game, which is fine. But yeah, it's nice to see it's on there. I don't understand why the launcher exists. It brings absolutely nothing to the game. It makes loading Java Edition a lot slower. If you're using it for Bedrock Edition, then what are you doing? Just launch it from the app. It's way faster. Or just hit your search key on your Windows and type in Minecraft and hit enter. The launcher. What programs use launchers these days? Get rid of it.
Steam. That's about it. Yeah.
Get rid of it. Put all of the stuff that they need for Java Edition in the game. The thing that's most annoying, I've got a very powerful system. When I load the launcher up, it takes a minute because it's got to update the launcher, and then you get into the thing, you get this animation, and you got to log into your Microsoft account. You finally get in there, you go to Java Edition, you pick your profile you want to play on, you click play, the launcher goes away, and then about literally a minute or two later, you get a window popping up and it's got Java Edition in it. What a waste of time. What a waste of time. Why does it take so long? Stupid. Jeez.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense.
Right,
None.
Slack, I didn't realise how much feedback and questions and stuff we've got today, so I got a little quiz for you, my friend.
No.
Yeah. I was interested to see what were the top games out there by number of monthly players, right? And
Okay.
I want you, we'll go one at a time, but I want you to guess the top 5 games currently by the number of monthly players that log in and play that game every month. What do you think number 1 is?
God, I don't know which one would be number 1 or anything like that. Um,
Out of all the games in the world, which one do people log into the most every single month?
Probably Counter-Strike Go.
Nope. It is PUBG. I didn't even know that still existed.
People log into the most. Didn't they like make that game against like all bots now because they didn't have people playing the game anymore?
Well, apparently 285 million people log into that game every month and play it.
They must offer like daily rewards or something.
Maybe. Well, they did have when Ninja was doing it, it did have a massive, massive following. But then they all moved off to a different game, Slack.
Fortnite?
Which just happens to be number 2 on the list with 240 million monthly players on Fortnite. Now, what do you think is number 3, Slack? What's the 3rd most popular game by monthly users? Can you guess?
I would either say Call of Duty or I would say, what is that stupid racing game where you like knock the soccer ball around?
Oh, Rocket League.
Rocket League, yeah.
No, it is Oliver's favourite game. It's Roblox with 210 million people logging into Roblox every single month. Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4, Slack. What do you think it's going to be?
Yes, I don't know. I have no clue.
It's a game you might not have heard of. It's called Minecraft, and it has 180 million people. So 180 million. PUBG, 285 million. Over 105 million more players play PUBG every month than they do Minecraft. I wouldn't have ever believed that. That's crazy. Jeez. Okay, this is all from a website called twinfinite.net, by the way, just in case. I don't know how reliable their data is, but I have looked around. I looked on a couple of sites, and they were all in a similar order. 5th would be League of Legends with 152 million. 6th is Apex Legends with 114 million. 7th is Genshin Impact with 65 million. I didn't think that many people would have played that. I guess because it's mobile and it's free, but I played it and it's rubbish. Call of Duty Warzone, 52 million at 8. We got Counter-Strike Go, 35 million at 9. And at number 10, Valorant, 22 million. So it just shows you the top 10 games by monthly players. The one at number 1 as the one at number 10 is 10 times more. 10 times more players on the top spot than there is at number 10. So going back to how much should games cost, funny that I should bring this up, isn't it? They're the top 10 games in the world. How many games are released every single month by developers? Millions. And if only 22 million people are logging into Valorant every month, what's it going to be like at a number 100 or number 5,000 or number 5 million? You got to make a lot of money selling it. You got to sell games for a lot of money. Otherwise, you're not going to make any. Jeez. Right, anyway, that's enough of the news. That's enough of me talking about how much games cost, apparently, until next week. So it's time to go into the bug date and find out what's been bugging everybody this week. Slack, have you got any bugs?
Not any that have made me rage this week.
No ragey bugs this week. Okay.
No, it's got to be ragey for it to make my list. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, Berenzo has a bug, and this has made them rage. Berenzo says, "This bug is my current biggest source of frustration. When on mobile, using a controller, the crafting tabs on the left are now out of order. When using the LB and LT buttons, where's that word from? It's not even close. I was going to say functions for some reason. To toggle between the tabs. There's a video someone else posted on a Jira ticket showing the issue. I don't know which one that is, so I'm not going to click any of them just in case. So yeah, that's really useful, isn't it? Having the tabs in the right order. How could it be?
Oh, yeah. Good talk. Downloadable Duck is next and says, I was testing out my custom texture pack when I found this bug. I was shot by a ghast in the nether, and when I entered the nether portal, I died of a fire as I was traveling through. When I tried to respawn, I was stuck in an infinite loading terrain screen.
Oof. It sucks, doesn't it?
Yep. Oof. We had infinite loading issues the other day when we were trying to, do the myth busting.
Yeah, you made me buy a realm.
Made you.
All right, I might have offered. I might have slightly
could
offered.
Have done a server. We could have done a server.
Could have done a server. Yeah, but then I'd have asked to update the server every time we log into it. And we're only on there like once a week for a few minutes. Is that the world's smallest violin? You run a server then. You update it every week.
No.
Exactly.
No. See, this way, if we do it on the realm, people can't go in the comments, but it doesn't work on realms that way.
That's true. That is very true. And it is actually very useful for us to play on realms a little bit because we do talk about them a lot and we never use them anymore. Yeah. So now I've got 4 in my list, 3 of which have expired. I wish I could get rid of the ones that are expired. I keep getting emails going, you've got another month before we get rid of your realm. That's like 18 months old. Just get rid of it. I don't need it. Take it out of my list.
They finally deleted one of mine the other day. They're like, we're going to remove this. Good, go, bye, be gone.
Yeah. Lorenzo has a bug. Apparently, Android users cannot import custom-made skins. This is one I created. I just get the error. That's not a Minecraft skin, silly. However, Tiz tested the same PNG file on his Windows 10 PC for me and it imported without an issue. Edit. And because I'm terrible at searching the Jira, even at work where we use Jira, here is a link to the main bug report. Mine was a duplicate. Apparently, this bug has been here since at least December 2020. So people not able to upload skins onto Android that work on Windows.
Look, don't get Foxy going on Android because he talks about uploading stuff to Android on his Android phone, so that he has to do backups on his Android phone.
Last time we had a realm slag. Do you remember? I couldn't upload a world. Oh, no, what have we done? We're just never, ever going to change that world. We just leave it how it is. We don't fiddle with it, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Until next week, we're like, well, we need this add-on on there actually to do this thing. Oh, jeez.
No.
Okay. Who's next?
Rocket Dog says, Foxy, how's your day? Slack, how's your day? My bug is sniffers are invisible when spawned with the spawn egg, and the spawn egg item is invisible. I love the podcast. Keep up the good work.
Oof.
Have you considered you might have a texture pack that's not up to date with those things?
That's possible, but don't you remember this happened with the trader llamas as well? The trader llama spawn egg for a long time. I remember doing the like beta bug videos when the frogs were coming out. What update was that? Frogs? Was that 118, 117?
I think so.
Yeah, and whenever you spawned in a trader llama, it was totally invisible. And the spawn eggs were invisible in the crafting menu as well. And that wasn't custom texture pack.
I love how they changed, the trader's llamas to be technically particles. So if you had a no particle pack, it deleted the llamas too.
Well, maybe that's what's going on with sniffers then. But it still doesn't explain why the spawn egg's invisible.
No, it doesn't.
No. But it is exactly what was happening with the trader llamas. So, great.
Good talk, yeah.
Hilldog, 24, says, hey guys, ever since 1.20.10 came out, I cannot play on mobile. The game constantly crashes, sends me back to my phone's home screen. I have Android that has been playing Minecraft perfectly for years until the day 1.20.10 came out. I thought maybe my phone got too old, so I bought a new phone today, and nope, Minecraft still crashes after 5 minutes of playing on my brand new phone. It doesn't matter if it's single player or realms, the game will play for a few minutes, then start to lag or glitch, then totally crash. This is the closest bug I found. That sounds like your phone's overheating. Sounds like Minecraft is pushing your phone too hard. It's ended up throttling, which is why you're getting the glitches and the lag, and then it is just shutting off because it's getting too hot.
Didn't they just release like 2 hot fixes to address phone issues?
Yes, but the last one was iOS only, this is the other bug. They came back and said basically they've got another bug for this. If you've got a case on your phone, take the case off. And if you've got a little fan kicking about, like a house fan or something like that, just try pointing that at your phone while you're playing on it and see if that makes a difference. Because I would say it's not good. It's clearly a bug. There's clearly a problem. It's pushing your phone too hard. But I think that's probably going to be the issue. Jeez. But a new phone overheating, says Not So Blue Sheep in the chat. Yeah, any phone could overheat. Jeez, my brand new Pixel, if I do certain things on it, it gets red hot. I have to take the case off.
I had my Samsung Galaxy, I think it was a 6. I was recording a time lapse. This was back in season, I think 1 or 2, 1 of Truly Bedrock. And I recorded the time lapse on the phone, set it down on my desk, and went to pull the video footage off, and then literally the phone caught on fire. Yep.
Oof. Yeah, that's not good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I would put it down to. I might be wrong, but it would be worth checking out, because then you might find that by taking your case off and even just putting a little fan on there, you might give yourself 10 minutes before it crashes. Okay, that is it for the Bugdate. If you think you have found a bug in the game, then please do let us know by emailing us, filling out the feedback form on the website, or joining the Discord. And if you could link a bug tracker report for that, we can put it on the website and get those upvotes in and hopefully get those fixed, which would be amazing. Jeez. Okay, tip of the week.
Tonight says, I blame Render Dragon for catching things on fire because we should get back to shaders. Actually, this was before Render Dragon when that phone caught on fire.
Yeah, Render Dragon technically is actually more efficient than what we had before that, sadly. It's annoying, but it is. It's just, yeah, we can't blame that. Sadly, it would be something else. Okay, tip of the week, downloadable duck. When mining in the nether, instead of bringing high-level pickaxe, bring many shulker boxes full of stone picks because of the extremely low blast resistance of netherrack. Stone pickaxes can insta-mine netherrack. It'll save your good pickaxe's durability, and it'll use up all of the leftover cobblestone that you have in your chests from mining.
Or I can just, or I could just take that cobblestone and mix it up with some diorite and make some beautiful andesite.
That's interesting. I think that's almost worth checking out on our video this week, Slack, because I don't think an unenchanted stone pickaxe would insta-mine netherrack. You'd have to enchant them all, which means you're wasting a lot of time. If you go taking shulker boxes full of stone pickaxes, having to enchant every single one, no thanks. I'd rather just take my incredibly high durability netherite pickaxe and then just go and stand in front of a villager for 2 minutes and fix it again afterwards.
Yeah, I don't quite buy that being Instamine with not even a diamond pickaxe as Instamine.
No,
and if that's an Instamine with a stone pickaxe, that's a bug.
Should we check it out?
A bug. Yeah, that sounds like something we need to check out this week.
Write that down, Jen.
Definitely.
Slack, what's your life tip of the week, my friend?
If you're recording a podcast and it's 110 degrees outside, even with your air conditioner on, if you're hot, you may have to request, a screen break so that you can, get out of your pajamas and put shorts on. Just saying.
Do you need a screen break, Slack? Whatever your name is. I'm having a day with words. I can't help it. How many have I got wrong already in this podcast? I don't do it on purpose.
When you're here's my tip of the week. Okay, here's my tip of the week. Be comfortable in your own house. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need a break, Slack, before we go into this week?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's about 108 degrees and the air conditioner's running, but I got this nice green screen up that's blocking the air conditioner and I'm starting to sweat.
Okay, right. We're going to take 5 minutes, peeps. We'll be back in a minute. Jeez.
We'll be back. Yep. Sorry, guys. Love you. It's hot.
You're back.
Yep. Before we move away from that, I was just looking at the Discord as I came back. In the bug report, there's an interesting one that Chainer just posted just a few minutes ago. Did you see that one?
Mm-mm. What's it say, Slack?
It is not looking forward to this. However, they have fixed this bug. And when you click on the bug tracker, it takes you to the discount for curing a villager is multiplied if the villager is reinfected and cured again. and it's marked as fixed in a future update.
No, does that mean your zombie spawn, the villager things are not going to work?
It shouldn't affect that one. The way they could fix that one is just stop zombie villagers from spawning from spawners. This one is the one where you cure a villager, reinfect them, cure them again, reinfect them, and cure them, and get very cheap trades for free.
Right.
It shouldn't affect that one.
Right, okay. Oh, well, that's okay then. That's not so bad. Whew. Jeez. Okay. Don't forget, peeps listening in the live show, if you have any questions, then please do throw them into the live questions channel on the Discord so that we can answer them in the questions section. It is time now to talk about our week in Minecraft, and Slack's going to talk all about something. What are you going to talk about, Slack?
Well, I've started moving my big, insane builds, my long-term builds, back onto my forever Slackville world. So all my seasonal-based stuff, like TB and my seasonal-based Slackville world, are going to be focused more on smaller builds. But for my forever world, one thing I've never sorted out over there is having a proper storage room. And Hatter released a video a couple of weeks ago where he made a multi-item categorizer.
Ooh.
Not a multi-item sorter, but a categorizer. Now, a categorizer, for the ones that don't know, works different than a normal sorter. So your normal sorter, like say you want to sort out cobblestone, you make your filter and you put cobblestone in there, and that's the only thing it sorts. And then you have the multi-item sorters where you can put like this block, this block, this block, and fill the chest up completely. And as the items get sorted, it'll push them into the chest. A categorizer, you can put like whatever you want to go into that chest, and you don't have to leave it completely full. So like say if you want a chest that deals with nothing but slabs, okay, it'll put every slab into there. If you put a chest that does nothing but stairs, it'll put all the stairs into there.
Is that where you you pre-fill the chest with one item in each row, so only that can go in there?
No, that's a multi-item sort.
Right.
This is an item categorizer.
So is it using just like a normal hopper sorter then to do that?
No, it's a bit more complex than that. A short gist of it is a hopper minecart picks up the item.
Yeah.
It has 4 shovels in it.
Right.
Or non-stackable items, and then it picks up like half a stack of items. And then it goes up and it goes over a system, and it goes under a predetermined chest. And say it grabs one item out of that chest. Okay, so say your first chest is all your ores. Say you got your diamonds there, your redstone, your iron, and say that's all you got in there. Well, if you've got in that hopper minecart that goes under that chest, it picks up one thing of redstone, then it redirects the rail to this area. And immediately it unloads the shovels as it's redirecting it. It breaks it, and all those items go into that sorter.
All right, okay.
And then it takes that extra piece of redstone and puts it back in the box.
Right.
So you can sort many, many things quickly. It's a big build, but it can sort 15 shulkers an hour.
Oh, that's not so bad. That's not bad. Because when you were describing that, I thought, blimey heck, that must be really slow.
No, it's actually really fast. Because it doesn't really use... It does have hoppers all in the system, but it doesn't use hoppers to sort the items. You're using... the only thing you're using the hoppers really for is to collect the items after you break the hopper minecart and to grab the shovels back.
Right, okay.
And everything else gets dropped into the system really quickly.
I'll have to see this. I would like to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice. It's fast, and the beautiful thing about it being a categorizer is, like, if you want to have a chest that does nothing but oak, okay, so you can put in your chest up top that categorizes it, you can put, like, oak logs, oak planks, oak slabs, oak stairs, oak fences, oak gates.
Yeah.
And when you run, you can just, like, after you get done with the project, you usually, like me, you have shulkers. Well, I don't organize very well. And I have, like, 20 or 30 shulkers after I finish a big build.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I'll just throw them in the lava. I'm like, I'm not sorting that. But with this, I can literally just go over, dump them in a chest, and it will sort them by the categories that I define. So I could put all my green bits, like my tall grass, my flowers, and whatever. they'll be sorted into their own chest. And it's not one of those where you have to leave an item in a chest.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
So you don't have to do any pre-sorting. You take your shulker boxes and you just dump them randomly into any of these chests.
After you've made the system, the only thing you have to do is at the detection point of what you want to go into the chest. More or less, you got to have a quote filter chest, like you have a filter hopper minecart or a hopper for an item sorter. You just make a filter chest, and you just put whatever you want to be sorted in that. So, say you only want diamonds, diamond blocks, and diamond ore. That's all you got to put in there is like 2 of each. Well, technically 1 of each.
Oh, that's really cool.
And then it will auto sort it. Now,
nice.
So I've been working on getting that built. So I've been spending the last few days planning out that stuff so that I can get that build going.
Very good.
Because I'm tired of not knowing how many items I got.
It is frustrating when you think, I've hardly got any of that. And then you wander around like your world over time and you're like, oh, there's a bunch of shulker boxes of that there that I thought I'd run out of. Oh, a bunch of shulker boxes of that there that I sort of run out of. They are handy to have storage systems like that. But it's like, for me, it's like anything else. I don't go AFK now because generally speaking, I AFK on the computer that I'm using. I used to be surrounded by PCs. I'd have like 4 PCs all available to me for like Big Chicken and Mr. Runyon and all the other stuff. And I'm not anymore. I just got my PC. I've got a laptop, but I never turn it on. So if I AFK, it has to be on here. And which is fine, but I just don't do it because I'm always working. So I couldn't. I'd go to put my stuff in a storage system, but then I haven't got the time to wait for it to to go through. So,
well, let's talk about normal item sorters. Like if you want to filter everything, you have to build a massive sorter.
Yeah,
it takes forever. And your multi-item sorters are just as slow.
Oh, they're really slow. I had one of those on Java Edition, and you'd wait hours and hours and hours. You'd see like one thing go through the system at once. Oh, they were painful. Really painful.
So I'm building this item categorizer. I hope it does good. I mean, 15 shulkers an hour, and it... we'll see. After I get it built, I should get it built this week. I'll give you another review on it next week.
The biggest problem I had with the multi-item sorter was, so you put all your chests in, you build all the redstone, you get it all in place, but then you're like, but now I've got to figure out what's going to go in what chest. How do I know how many of these I'm going to accumulate over time? So you organize it to the best of your abilities to try and account for every single item in the game. And then you've got your overflow chest at the end, and your overflow chest just ends up with all of the stuff in it that didn't fit in the spaces you'd left for the stuff. So then you're like, okay, right, I need a bulk sorter for that. I need a bulk sorter for that. And it's just a never-ending game, isn't it? Jeez.
And you know the biggest thing I hate about multi-item sorters? You got to leave that one item in there. So you can't just grab the stack and run.
Yeah.
You got to put an item back in there, and now you got a stack of 63. I don't want a stack of 63. I want a full stack.
And you got to do it just at the right time, otherwise something else comes along and goes in that spot, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
The good times, like good times.
Oh, yeah. Good, very good times. What about you? What have you been doing this week?
This week, so me and you played a bit of Minecraft last week, as we do on a Friday. And we built a super smelter on Truly Bedrock. My video hasn't come out yet. It will be coming out the day Saturday, the day after this podcast comes out. And we built it in the area where I'm building skyscrapers. So I decided on the live stream, as we discussed in the video, that I should decorate the building so I can put some new floors in for the other things that I'm going to be putting above there. And I had no plan, no idea, no clue what I was going to do, but I knew I wanted to just build like I have done in that area. Nice, simple, concretey, blocky, but colourful looking builds. So with the help of chat, we picked out a couple of colours and I started throwing some blocks together. And the more I built, the more comments I got telling me it looked like a Pokeball. And they were right. It did a little bit look like a Pokeball, but that's what I've ended up with. So,
what is a Pokeball?
Now, me and you, Slack, have had this conversation, haven't we?
I couldn't tell you what a Pokeball is to save my life.
I don't think we can get to our age and have never, ever, ever heard of Pokemon or seen something from it. whether that's a game trailer, something in a shop window, somebody's profile picture, somebody talking about it on, in the just someone you know or on a podcast. There's no way. I don't believe you can get to your age and not know what a Pokeball is.
No clue what a Pokeball is. Now, the only thing I know about Pokemon was when I was working at Wendy's as a teenager, there was a person there who was obsessed with Pikachu, so all they did was go around going, Pikachu! Like all day, but that's it. I couldn't tell you nothing else.
Did they not have a little red and white ball with a circle in the middle on their belt?
No.
They weren't a true Pokemon believer. So I was never into Pokemon, but when I was young, not when I was young, when I was a bit older, there was a Pokemon cartoon on that my little brother used to watch. And that's how I heard about Pokemon. And then
okay, hold on. I'm real touchy about cartoons. Is it a cartoon or is it anime? Now,
anime.
A cartoon in my book, okay, yeah, see, then I've never watched it because a cartoon in my book's got to move, like old school Bugs Bunny, old school Ninja Turtles, Captain Planet. If it is like Dragon Ball Z, where all you get is the face just sitting there going,
yeah, no, I agree with you.
And voiceover, I can't watch that stuff. I can't.
No,
I can't.
I agree with you.
No,
I think there are some amazing art styles that come from anime, and I watched when I was at university. There was a guy that was really into them, and he made me watch this one called Hellsing, and it was amazing. It was beautiful, really, really good. I watched the whole thing through, but I couldn't watch a full series like that because I just don't like the jerkiness of the animation, the frame rate. I think there's some real beautiful artwork that was from those, but when you see the kids' cartoons in that style, like the Pokemon ones, I can't watch it either. To me, it's like watching something with subtitles. I just find myself totally distracted. I can't do it. I can't concentrate on what's supposed to be happening because I'm just distracted by it's like the Ender Dragon at the minute. That's in like 4 frames a second, the animation for that. And it's just, you're looking at that going, why is it broken? And while I'm trying to kill it. Anyway, so he did that. And then as Jack was growing up, he was into Pokemon games. So he'd have them on like his DS and stuff like that. I never played any of them. And then I played, a new one came out last year, was it? Pokemon Legends Arceus, I think it was called. I think I talked about it in depth on the podcast, I think, early on. And I enjoyed that. But then I thought, I'll play the next big Pokemon game because it's supposed to be very similar, and I hated it. But as a result of seeing all these things, and there was a big game called Pokemon Go that came out on mobile many years ago that me and the kids used to go out and play. I have been subject to Pokemon many, many times. It's a huge, huge phenomena. I would say it's probably about as big as Marvel or DC or something like that. Or Star Wars. So I'd be surprised for people that haven't come across it. And the Pokeball's probably, other than Pikachu, one of the most iconic things from that because it's what you catch the Pokemon in. It's basically just a ball that opens in 2 like a chest, and its top half's red and bottom half's white, and it's got a black ring around the middle with a white circle in the middle. But there are different types of Pokeballs. Different colours do different things. There you go. Now you know what Pokeball is.
Well,
so you can't ever say you don't know again.
Still don't know. Oh, also had a Chaos stream last weekend.
Oh, did you?
Which was, insane.
Thanks for the info.
Speaking of Chaos streams, does Foxy want to be part of next month's Chaos stream?
No, you didn't invite me to the last one, so I'm bowing out early. I don't know, when is it? I
don't know
like
yet.
The Chaos
I haven't
streams.
determined that yet.
You've got your little team going. Don't feel pressured into inviting me when you've got your team. So I
don't have a team. I change out the people. The only 2 that are consistent is me and Jen.
Well,
it's constantly fluctuating people.
Of course, I would love to be part of it, but do not feel pressured into asking me because you feel like you should because we're talking about it on the podcast.
No, it's perfectly fine. I was already planning to. I was just going to invite you on the podcast.
Oh, well, in that case, yes, I would be honoured to be part of the Chaos stream. What time is it and what day?
We will have to do planning when we figure out who the 4th is going to be this month.
Okay.
So that's me, you, and Jen. So all we have to do is pick our 4th, and then we can get a group chat going and figure out when it's going to be.
Oh, okay, good.
Sounds fun.
That sounds great.
Hey, we won this time. So
you actually killed the dragon?
Yes, we killed the dragon.
You must have nerfed it.
Took us about 3.5 hours.
You must have nerfed it.
We've constantly been changing things. It's still hard. It's still very hard. And if you don't know what we're talking about, Chaos Stream is more or less a stream that we do once a month. and it allows you as the viewers to come and interact with the stream. So you're able to spawn mobs on top of our faces and, take away and throw items out of people's hands and stuff like that. It's pretty chaotic.
Yeah, I love that one where they throw your inventory on the floor. It's brilliant. And then just blow up everything.
Don't you love it when you go to fly? When you go to fly and then they take away your rockets? It's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, and then they just blow up everything around you, so all of your items are dead. Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's fun. Good. You get to look forward to that coming up again this month. Yay.
Great.
Or rather, the month of August. Yeah. Sounds fun, right?
Can't wait. No, I do genuinely enjoy them, but they are enjoyably frustrating. Jeez. Okay.
You're very tired after one of those.
You are really tired after one of those. Okay, it is time to go into the wish list and find out what everybody's desperate to be added into Minecraft.
Oh, no.
Starting with you, Slag. You've got a wish this week, have you?
Yes, I started mining for some diamonds because I want to use diamonds as decorative blocks in this multi-item sorter that I'm building. And I wish we had some beacon upgrades. Now, it was something we talked about on stream, I think it was last night. And one of the most interesting suggestions was, how you got the secondary effect on the beacon? So you can get, regeneration, or you can make it like
double whatever it was.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if you had like the ability to get like night vision or like other things from the beacon as well as your secondary effect?
Yeah, it has always struck me as odd that you've got beacon effects and potion effects and they're not cross-compatible, because it would be great. A lot of potion, like obviously we got the conduit, which gives us a water breathing, but we can have that with the potion as well. And conduit gives us haste underwater. So, yeah, it would be great to have.
And I had another silly thought with that. Now, you probably won't like this one. But, all right, so you can power a beacon with, iron, gold, redstone. No, not redstone. Diamonds or netherite, right? Those are the 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if you had to, let's say you put, which is the lowest, iron. You put iron in there. And that can only give you the haste 1 effect or whatever. But it only lasts for so long. So say you had to hook up a hopper to your beacon to refeed it. Let's say the iron. I know this is a crazy idea. Let's say the hold on before you go crazy. Okay, so say it lasts for 10 minutes per ingot that you put in.
Right.
Okay, so you put iron into it and you can only get the level 1 effect. You put gold, you can get level 2. You put diamond, you can get effect 3 or
haste
level 3.
Woo!
Or you put netherite, you could go up to level 4.
I don't see why it has to have a time limit on it. If you're wasting a whole netherite ingot to have a higher haste, then why shouldn't it last like it does at the minute?
Okay, well, I could be fine with that idea too, But, what if the different ingots could only power it to certain levels? So with iron, you couldn't go above like level 1 effect. Gold, you couldn't go above level 2. And once you get the diamond,
I think that's good, but I think the better way of doing it would make it what the base made out of.
Ooh.
The problem is because if you're adding haste 3 and haste 4 into the game, it's got to be expensive.
Yeah.
Because haste 2 already ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
So a full diamond beacon for haste 3, I would do that. I would work hard to get that.
I would do that.
Full netherite 4, haste 4. I don't think I would be bothered with that, because I think haste 3, I think I'd be like, okay, haste 3 is fast enough for me. If I can insta-mine deep slate at haste 4, then I would get the netherite.
It would be a community goal and the beacon would move around, right?
Right, exactly. So I'd be up for that. The problem would then be you can make beacons out of multiple materials. They don't have to all be the same.
Right, so you'd have to add in a detection where it can only work if like certain layers,
Yeah, or if it's a certain number, like you've got a certain number of diamond blocks in there, then it goes up to the next level. You've got a certain number of netherite blocks in there, and it goes up to the next level. I think, or maybe just make the that top 3 layer, that's the one that changes the effect, and the bottom 3 layers, the 3x3, If that's the one that makes the effect change, and the bottom 3 layers just change the distance. So if you make the top 3 out of the top 9, I guess, out of iron, then you're only getting haste 1. You make them out of gold, you're getting haste 2. Make them out of diamonds, haste 3. Make them out of netherite, haste 4. And then I don't think that's too much to ask for netherite, really. 9 diamond blocks compared to a stack and a half of netherite blocks.
Yeah, well, that's why I figured the detection issue would be an issue. That's why I figured, what if the ingot itself had a time limit and you could just hopper them into the beacon? Yep, I know it's crazy, but
I think you'd end up spending more netherite doing that than building a full beacon out of it.
Probably. But then again, you could take an iron beacon then and pump a few netherite ingots into it and just have haste 4 for a while and clear your perimeter.
No. I will add the 9x9 idea into the wish list.
Okay. All right. Okay. What other secondary effects do you think should be available?
I think all the potions, all the potion ones should be.
So you could choose like night vision or water breathing or whatever.
Yeah. And in order to make it even more interesting, why not get rid of the buttons and have 2 slots? You have a first slot and a second slot. If you want haste, you put a pickaxe in the first slot. If you want water breathing or whatever, you put the potion in the second slot. So it feeds off what items you got in there.
I like that. Yeah. I like that.
Okay. That's a lot to remember to write in. Jeez. Well, I'm going to read the next wish list, and while we're talking about that, I'll try and remember to carry on writing this big information on. So
you're going to read and type too. Okay.
No, I'm going to read, then talk, and then while you're reading the next one, then type. Jeez.
Okay. All right.
Flash says, my wish is to undo most of the 1.20 update. Forget armor trims wherever a thing and improve gameplay instead. The idea of having to explore is a commendable one, but it facilitates the need to crop the worlds even more. For those of us that play on console most of the time, that's not an easy option. Or just have massive world files. My current world is 10 level 4 maps we made, 5 deep, already like exploring.
Oh, no.
So finding the new stuff is ridiculous at best. So almost forcing me to start a new world or realm. There are so many things they could do instead of improved quality of life gameplay that would be better. I look forward to your thoughts on this. Sorry for the book.
Okay, I know this is a wish list idea, but you've got 10 level 4 maps on your world. It's not 10 level 4 maps. You've officially, for every map, made 4 maps of writing into your data every time. So you've got 40 map files that are 5 deep. You are the biggest enemy of your world by making maps. Not the armor trims. You are the bad guy. Maps have been a bad thing in Bedrock for a while. Maybe we should visit that this week again to confirm that's still a thing. But
the problem is we can't read the world files like we used to. So that would be difficult.
But we could see. Well, not necessarily, because we could take an existing world, let's just say truly Bedrock, and then we could make a map of the world and see if the file size increases.
Well, let's break this down a little bit more, because you're absolutely right, Slack, that maps do cause a problem. The problem with Bedrock Edition, and it has been like this for years, the developers are aware of it, but they haven't fixed it, is that every single map that you make or you find in the world and open creates 5 duplicates for each zoom level in the database. If you burn a map or destroy it, it doesn't delete the map from the database. It's always going to be there forever and ever and ever. So every single map, even if you copy another map, it doesn't use the old data. It makes a brand new 5 set of maps. Every time you zoom into a map, it makes a brand new 5 set of maps, even though those zoom versions are already there. It is an incredibly broken system, and it does, on a multiplayer server over a year or two, really significantly increase the world file size if everybody's making map walls, going on adventures using maps, finding treasure maps, all that sort of thing, all adds to it. But realistically, each map's only around about 30 kilobytes in size. So, per 5 things. So one map, which equals 5 maps in the database, I guess, is 150 kilobytes. So you only need 10 maps and you're already over a megabyte. One person on their own probably not going to do that much damage to their world. But
if you're on a realm and everybody's got copies of this world map, you're
I think my maths is wrong there. Let me just do that maths quickly because I feel like I was well off there. So what did I say? Each map's about 25 kilobytes. 5 for each one's 125 kilobytes.
Yeah.
So yeah, times 10 over a megabyte. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say, just for the sake of easiness, 10 maps equals a megabyte. 1,000 maps is 10 megabytes. 10,000 maps. Yeah, it's very easy to duplicate them. It's very easy to inflate your world size. So yeah, you're not doing yourself any favors by doing that. But of course, you wouldn't have known that unless you're in the know. So it's not your fault, but it is.
No. Yeah, it's not your fault, but it is. Remember that map wall that Zoe made? What was it, season 2? No. Yeah. Of Truly Bedrock? Oh, God.
So I used to have a script that would pull out all of the map data and delete all of the maps from a world that weren't... It looked through all of the chests in the world. It looked through all the player inventories. It looked through all the ender chests. And it looked for basically all of the map items it could find. If there were no map... If it found maps that were in the database that didn't fit to a map that was found in someone's inventory, then it would delete that. And we had, I think, after just a few months, there was something like 30,000 maps that were just deleted. And that's through no fault of anyone's. You open a chest, you grab a map out of a treasure chest, you open it up. Oh, look, treasure map. You get one from the villages or the cartographer, or you go around like Sloy did, flying around making a map. Oh, I've already, because you don't know what's going to show up on your map. You don't know if you're in the right spot to open a new one. You can go through 5 or 10 maps trying to get the picture of the next bit of the world you're looking at before you've actually got the right one. And when you're trying to do an entire world's worth of map wall, all of a sudden you've got a lot of excess maps there that you're not using. And burning them in fire isn't going to fix it.
No, because we ran into that because he did the Truly Bedrock Herald, where he did the map art newspaper every week on
duplicated
TV.
It for every player.
And had to make it multiple times. Opened up the map. Oh, that pixel's off. I gotta delete that one. Make another one. Pixel art. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But back to the core of this. The wish was, I guess, forget armor trims.
Yeah. Roll back 120 and fix the worlds.
I don't hate armor trims. I think they're too expensive.
I
don't hate them.
No, I don't. Like I said many, many times, this update's fine. I haven't got a problem with this update. And I think that Mojang are doing a ridiculous amount of work. I mean, we read these changelogs every single week. And there's so much work going into those for parity, bug fixes, the add-on stuff, the experimental features. They're not sitting on the bums. Sitting on their hands, sorry. They are working hard. Yeah, it might not be... everybody's got a different idea of what they want. Some people desperate for quality of life. Some people want more exploration. Some people want more redstone stuff. Some people want more building blocks. And everyone's got a different priority of what they want. But you've got to remember that their priority is to sell more games and sell more marketplace maps. And they've got to have that as a priority. Otherwise, if they don't, so going back to this quiz that we did with the top games, I actually looked at one of the websites had like Minecraft sales every month for the last few years. And every time there's an update coming, it jumps up significantly. Like it will double in terms of game sales when there's an update. And then in a year's time, before that, it's back down to half of the amount. If they don't do updates, if they don't add new content and they just focus on quality of life things that appease the current player base, they're not going to sell any games. And if they're not selling any games, Minecraft will die. And all of a sudden, your favorite game that you just wanted this quality of life update for will be gone because they didn't work on the things that were important to keeping the game alive. So it sucks. It's not your priority. It's not my priority. I don't care. If they said, okay, 1.21, we're not doing an update. We're just going to make life loads better for everybody. Great. But they ain't going to sell any games doing that.
Yeah.
They're only going to appeal. It's like, when you, and I don't know whether you've all come across this or not, but you'll often find, let's say you've got, you're with a utility company, or broadband and phone companies are the worst for this, and car insurance companies. You've got what you think is a good deal. You've got a good deal going on. And then all of a sudden you're a few months into your contract and you see, they're offering what I've got for like half the price of what I'm paying. And it always says new customers only, right? New customers only.
Yeah, new customers only.
Because, and they think, well, why can't I have that? If you're doing it for them, why won't you do it for me? Well, if we did it for you, we wouldn't be able to afford to do it for them. And the only reason we can afford to do it for them is because that's only part of their contract. And by the time they're halfway through the contract, they'll be paying the same as you. So we've got a new customer. Minecraft's the same sort of thing. If they didn't have for new customers, i.e. updates, and they just focused on us, they wouldn't be getting any new customers.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, next one.
Next one is Purple Hoser. And they say, hey, Foxy and Slack, Purple here. Foxy has mentioned knowing a few Minecraft developers. I wish for a developer on the podcast. Maybe a little far-fetched, but would be awesome. Purple.
I don't think we know them that well.
Not that well.
So there's a couple of them that I DM occasionally to talk about issues or to ask questions or to a little bit of to and fro, but it's not something like, we're not calling each other up or going around each other's houses or anything like that. And even if we were, I think there would be a bit of a problem because we are very honest about our feelings and our thoughts in this podcast, whereas other podcasts are a little bit more reserved and a little bit more kind to the game because they probably do want to get developers on. I think the chances of us actually getting somebody that would dare come on the podcast with the sorts of questions we were likely to ask based on our history and the sorts of things we say about the game, it would be very unlikely. It would be very unlikely.
I don't think they would ever get to be able to be on here officially.
No.
With any official representation, no.
Yeah, I mean, we might get one on, maybe, possibly, to talk about their personal lives and how they got into developing the game. But I think any questions to do with Minecraft would be strictly off the, not allowed. Yeah. And I think that would just put everybody in a really awkward position. So yeah, I'd love to have developers on here. I'd love to be invited to Minecraft Live, but unfortunately, we've been so honest and outspoken about our feelings and passions towards the game over the years that I think we probably dug ourselves a bit of a hole we're going to struggle to crawl out of. So, being honest.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the live chat over there, and Arcane's like, so first question. Why is your game such a mess?
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you give us a proper changelog? Yeah.
Cricket. Yep.
Tiny Raccoon says, my wish list this week is more of a quality of life change, but I think it would help lots of builders and map makers. For structure blocks to like Matica in Java, have a materials list so you can see what's in your creative build. This would be handy for transferring builds to survival and also wouldn't be too hard to do, wouldn't it? The information must be there for the model to build and save. It's just a matter of making it visible. Thanks always for the great pod, Tiny Raccoon. You're probably right. It's probably not that difficult to do. But a structure block isn't. You're not using a structure block to then place that in the world and use your own blocks to build it. You are copying a build and then you are pasting it somewhere else. So for it to show you all of the blocks and things in there would be kind of pointless for a structure block. Whereas a different kind of block that you were using as a tool like Matica, I can totally get that being in there. And whilst that's a nice idea and it would help certain people, how many worlds do you know that you can play on in survival that allow the use of structure blocks?
Else, headers automated structure now.
Oh, really?
So that you can take a structure block, make a structure, go to his Discord and type /convert, and then upload the file, and it'll give you a structure file and a block list for it.
Nice, but not in game, not vanilla.
not in game. Yeah. Oh no, not in game. No. Yeah, if that's what they're wanting, no.
No. So, yeah, I think that would be a really useful tool for them to have. Like, they've got this Bedrock editor now, right? Which is, they've obviously gone, hey, map makers need more than they've got in the vanilla base game in order to make maps.
Mm-hmm.
And that, what they've suggested there, something like Litematica would be invaluable for map makers. Having said that, Litematica is really only useful for survival people, because if you are in creative, you are building a world, you're making a map, you might as well just use a structure block and just copy it in.
Yeah, structure block, clone it, whatever, yeah.
So, and you know, it's funny, I'm kind of sick of seeing that word Litematica. Nearly every single one of my videos I put out lately has at least 2 comments saying build Litematica, make Litematica. I know Hatter's done a version of it which works fine. I got no interest in making that. It would be a nightmare to make that in-game. Like, Hatter's obviously uses external tools to do it, which is fine. And I've thought about loads of ways you could do it internally with the game, and it is possible to a certain extent, but it would be an absolute nightmare.
Oh my God. His Discord has become, you know how you get people with the add-ons, you know? Oh my God. He's had to lay down just brutal laws.
Make this. Why doesn't this work?
Oh yeah.
When are you going to update
join
this?
and they're like, I can't do this. Can somebody do this? And they just start pinging everybody in the Discord trying to get them to make the pack for them.
Which is exactly why I wouldn't add Guardian spawn spots to my markers pack. Hatter's done it, and look what happened.
Oh yeah, it's
you give some. If you at the end of the day, the reason why Minecraft works for so many players is because it is well thought through, and for the majority of things in the game, it is obvious on how it works, or at least it is easy to learn how it works. You go back a few years, and that wasn't the case. You had to pull up a wiki for everything. Same like potion brewing, you still got to do that. Pull up a wiki or something like that to figure out how to do it. But most of the interactions in the game are intuitive. And that's how add-ons should be, in my opinion. I try and make my add-ons as intuitive as possible, because if it's not, then you are plagued with people complaining, pinging, DMing you, commenting, asking why it doesn't work. Why doesn't this work? Why doesn't that work? And that's...
I could go to my Discord messages right now. Message request. There's like 13 of them over the Guardian farm not working.
Yeah. Yeah. So you gotta so that's, and you know, people ask me to do this, make this add-on, do that add-on. Why don't you add this to that add-on? Because if I do that, it won't be intuitive. And you've got to take your hat off to Hatter, pun intended. He makes some incredible stuff. It's really good stuff, but it's not intuitive. You have to read the instructions. You have to know what you're doing. And it's a little bit like, I consider Hatter, and I hope he doesn't take offense to this, because none intended, but he's like one of these guys that's really into Linux and just expects everybody to know what he's going on about, but no one has a clue. And they're the people that go, Linux is the best operating system. I don't understand why you're using Windows or Apple. This is clearly better. But they know how to use it, and they've got no idea how other people don't understand it. And you see, this happens a lot, particularly with people that do developing. They don't relate to people on the same level as themselves, because they just can't understand that people don't get it like they do. And they're happy to put out these complicated scripts and programs and things with very little information and instruction, and expect people to just get it. And they don't. And when they don't get it, you just get walls and walls. Like when I was fiddling with all this like GPT stuff and chat stuff and AI stuff, all that's written for people that know what they're doing. And I know what I'm doing a bit, but I was really struggling. I was on tons of forums trying to find out what I was doing wrong and how this works. And there's millions of people there doing it because there's no information. And while it's amazing that those things exist and these tools exist for people, because some people can really wield them and do them. But the majority of people can't, because they're not intuitive and they need instruction. And if something needs external instruction, then it's no good.
No.
And I will do certain things that don't need instruction.
Well, it's no different than somebody building pretty builds versus somebody building farms. You know, some people just are not technical enough to do farms. You know, there's nothing against them. That's just not the way they play the game.
Yeah.
You know?
So where I can, I will make my add-ons as intuitive as possible. It's not always possible, and some I won't, some I can't, because there's just limitations. But where I can, I will.
Yeah, it's like I refuse to do some tutorials just because trying to explain certain mechanics, and you know that you're going to get people, I did it right. No, you didn't. So it's just not even worth the headache, you know? It's just, nope. But I really want to know how to build an automatic AFK tree farm. You'll build it wrong.
Can you tell me how to do it in a comment? Like, yeah, I'll teach you how to build a tree farm in a comment. Yeah. I said, I think if I was to get all of my comments from all my videos and look at which was most common, I think the most common one I've got is for my mob heads and mini blocks ones, which is I can't break it. Because people look at what happens on Java Edition and assume you're supposed to break it with a pickaxe. They don't realize it's an entity. And that is bad add-on making. It's bad add-on making because it's not intuitive of how to get rid of it. Because you expect when you place a block in the world that you break it with a pickaxe. If you do that with with a mini block or a mob head, it's just going to sit there and do nothing. It's just going to ignore your pickaxe. You have to actually shift, crouch, and right-click on it to pick it up, which is in the instructions and it's in the video, but it's not obvious. How can I make that obvious? I can't really. I could make it so that when you hit it, it would take damage and then just pop off. But then any tiny bit of damage it gets accidentally, it's just going to break. So I got to make like a call. What's the better way to do it? It's really difficult making these sorts of decisions. Jeez.
It is. It is. No, the number of times I hate to engage on them sometimes. I do. And I don't mean that to sound negative. Somebody will be like, I followed the tutorial exactly. I built it exactly, and it does not work. 99% of the time, I get those people to join the Discord, provide a world download, and be like, okay, well, you didn't do this. You didn't do this, or you didn't do that. You didn't follow it exactly. You know what I mean? It's just,
yeah. Well, I didn't think I needed to do that. Well, why would I put it in the tutorial then?
Right.
Why didn't you do it like this? Because if I did that, it wouldn't work. Yeah, but if you did it like this, yeah, but you're right. That kind of would. But if you think about it, it's not a good way of doing it because of this way. Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that. I thought it through. Okay, next one is, where are we at? We're at Big
Low.
Yeah.
Big Low. Yeah, I was listening to episode 71 and heard about the visualized sound effect. I think it would be good if you could see where the mobs were at. I understand that subtitles could help, but being able to see which direction the mobs were at could help let us know when we would be mining, if we are getting close to a cavern or a mob spawner, if we are looking for one. Love the podcast. Keep up the good work. You're one the X-ray. That's just, no.
No, the other way of doing that is what they've got on Java with the spectral arrows and the bell. You know, when you ring a bell and it highlights all mobs within an area, even behind worlds. So it's in the game. It's just not in Bedrock. It's one of the few parity things we've got left. I think I don't see how that's an accessibility feature, which is what we were talking about with the subtitles and stuff like that. And I think it would be akin a little bit to X-ray to see where mobs are behind walls. You kind of don't need to. But then if you are hard of hearing and you haven't got subtitles, what's an alternative? And I think that would be a good alternative for accessibility reasons, to have that highlight thing, even if it's just like temporary.
If it's temporary and tied to like a bell, sure. If it's an accessibility feature that you can just toggle on and off, I'm going to say no.
Oh, really? I if it was an accessibility, well, yeah, because everyone would turn it on, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How can you prove that you actually need it? You can't. Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's
because they would almost consider that to be on all the time a cheat. You know, that'd be hidden behind a cheat wall.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't though. If it's accessibility, would it? They wouldn't be able to. You can't do that. They wouldn't be able to do that. But people would abuse it.
Maybe.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they gave us spectral arrows or a bell that worked the way it's supposed to, and then you could just carry a bell around with you and ring it occasionally.
Yep.
So, sorry, Big Low, not going in the good ideas bin. Okay.
Sorry.
Squirrelicious is here with a Minecraft feedback wish from the actual feedback website. So I'm just going to grab that and open it up so we can see it. Because when I read it, no offense, Squirrelicious, but I didn't really know what you're talking about, but I was scamming through. So, yeah, not scamming. I wasn't scamming anyone. Shh, leave me alone. Horizontal stripes banner pattern, please. I think a horizontal stripes banner pattern similar to the Pally, I don't know what that is, but horizontal would be useful. Banners with horizontal stripes could be used as window shutters, clothing for a boutique build. It does say Simba. So you've just copied and pasted it. It says it's similar to Pally. I don't know what Pally is. Is that a type of thing on the Pally? Is vertical stripes. I want horizontal, says Squirrelicious. Oh, right.
Sure.
I didn't know that's what it was. Okay. Yeah. Why is that not a thing? Why is that not in there? Yeah. Good idea.
Sure, go for it. Yeah.
Geez, with no modifications again, Squirrel. You're coming up with all the good ideas.
Nope. No objection. Yep.
Okay. Good.
Tiny Raccoon. Oh, no. All right. It says, more dyes, please. I need more organized shulkers. And me, as John said, or mixing colors like we can with a cauldron for leather armor.
Yeah.
I like the me as John one. I don't like the more dice.
Well, it's the same kind of, but yeah, you're right. No more dice, but mixing colours so you can have more coloured shulker boxes. I'm well up for that. Yeah,
like you do with leather armor.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
You just dip your shulker box into your die.
Yep.
Bish, bash, bosh. The only problem is...
Me as John, yes. Tiny Raccoon, no.
The problem is that the Bedrock Edition team have gone to great lengths to flatten the data values into all the blocks. So now all of the shulker boxes are literally a unique item depending on their colour. So you have Minecraft red shulker box, Minecraft blue shulker box, Minecraft green shulker box. They would have to undo that and put everything back to Minecraft shulker box and then give it a colour value as a data value, which isn't impossible. They do it with other things. They do it with plenty of other things. But it would mean that you would have to undo it. Higher the Night says 32 colours. No, I think it's actually possible with the die combinations. Is it 16,000 colours you can get up to?
Thought it was like in the millions. I don't know.
I don't think it's millions. I'm pretty sure it's in the thousands.
On Java, it's more than Bedrock.
Probably. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, so yeah, good idea, but comes with some problems for the developers to solve. Not my problem. Not So Blue Sheep says, greetings, host. I'd like large biomes in Bedrock like they've got in Java. I hate when I get a great idea to build a jungle temple, but I'm limited to where in the jungle I can put it because I don't want it surrounded by desert and badlands on 3 sides. Besides parity. I don't know what besides parity means.
Yeah, that goes back to sliders.
Yeah, sliders again. Yeah. I don't want to play on a world with large biomes. But that being said, I think, as crazy as it sounds, we've got too many biomes. And I think it's difficult. Like I was talking about last week, flying around all that time, huge birch forests, but then you get a tiny little grove or a tiny little plains or a tiny little this, but then you get a huge jungle or a huge taiga and then a tiny little desert. I think they need to be more uniform sizes, all of them. Because it's just, I know it's random for a reason, but I don't know. So, yeah, sliders would be good. I think that's already in the good ideas bin. So,
yeah, it is. More sliders, yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Balrog is up next and says, hey, Foxy, Slack, and Foxy, I want the bazooka that places flowers in the world. Thank you.
So this is from my live stream. I can't remember how this came about. Well, basically, I was talking about what was we talking about? People having silly ideas for add-ons or something, or people wanting things that do something stupid. And I said, like having a bazooka that placed flowers in your world. So now they want a bazooka that places flowers in your world, like a bazooka cannon flower cannon. Boom, all of a sudden, loads of flowers everywhere. I don't think it's a good idea. It was a joke.
No, fun idea maybe.
No, not even fun idea. It's a bad idea.
Okay, no, all right. Bad idea, Balrog, sorry. No, right.
Irish Viking says, hey, Foxy and Slack, my wish, we got it anyway. Just put bone meal in the dispenser. Boom, flower cannon. Hey,
no,
Foxy,
you can make slang bone meal.
Thanks, Foxy, jeez. I'm getting all my worms in the wrong order today, aren't I?
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Hey, Foxy and Slack, my wish list idea. is to be able to use biome-specific grass blocks in any biome, whether that means you get the colour when you silk touch from that biome or you have the ability to craft it somehow. Maybe something like grass blocks surrounding that specific biome item, berry bush, lily pad, acacia sapling, etc. Would be nice to be able to create biome looks in your base area. I've wanted that for ages. I think silk touch is the best way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Good idea. Silk touch. There we go. Oh.
No, hi. That's a lot you selected there.
An accident.
Okay. Wyoming Asian Coffee here is up next and says, "Hi, Foxy and Slack. My wish list idea would be to have a pyramid in the desert the show is great. Keep up all the great work y'all do."
Don't start jumping in with your digs and your comments because, you've already got one. We haven't. Got a desert temple. And whilst it is
we got a desert temple.
Vaguely pyramid shaped, it is not a pyramid.
That goes to more structures. I could be fine with that.
Yeah, we've already covered this with wanting more, like loads of different structures and bigger structures and stuff like that. So I think it's already in there, coffee. So yeah, 100% agree with you. It'd be amazing to come across like a big old desert in the pyramid in the desert and just be like, ooh, what's in there?
Didn't there used to be pyramids at one point? I know there was the brick pyramid a long time ago.
Was there?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. They took it away. Minecraft brick pyramid.
No, I don't remember that, but maybe there was. But
yeah, it was an extremely rare pyramid that spawned far away from the player's spawn point. Upper world level ground. Yeah.
Wow,
yeah, it was a thing.
Cool. But yeah, I could imagine the pyramid would have like different levels and like trap rooms and cool stuff going on, puzzles, things like that. It could be really interesting. So yeah, that'd be great. That would be good for the archaeology thing. Big old pyramid to dig under. Loads of suspicious sand in that.
Yeah, it was removed. Oh God, I can't even see. All I get is the 20100-327 in a rewrite of World Generation. Yep.
Right. Okay.
Good talk.
Purple Hoser says, "Hey, Foxy and Slack. My wish list for this week is adding owls in the old growth taiga. The owls could drop string and the owl eye that could be part of a recipe used to find an old growth forest. It would be apples for what? No. No.
No.
Slack, we're 2 hours and 10 minutes in. Yeah. We're not even in the questions yet. Jeez.
No, well, somebody went on a rant about taxes.
Well, apparently got it all wrong, so I can't wait to see what happens next week. Looking forward to that.
That was no, purple, no. Xenon is next. This would probably come to the end update, but I would like a civilization of just traces of a civilization in the end. We have piglins in the nether with their bastions, villagers and trail runes in the overworld, and the end is just dead. There's these things out there called end cities.
Not really a civilization, though, is it? I would like something like that with an end update. You think
the shulkers are the only thing?
I
think the shulkers are the only thing that live there?
They took zombie piglins and they made a whole civilization out of that with hoglins and children and brutes and all that sort of stuff. I don't see when they do an end update why they couldn't do something with Enderman and have like Enderman kids and
I agree.
Things like that. So yeah, it'd be nice to see something like that, a bit of lore. But yeah,
we've already got that in there that we want it.
Yeah, that's just part of end update. So thank you. Brood says, "I would like more variation in the generated structures." Yes, Brood. I'm not going to read the rest of that because we've already said that on the podcast before. We 100% agree. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gabby is up next and says, "Howdy, I'd like it. I'd love if boats went faster in reverse. Thoughts, good, bad, or indifferent."
Yeah, why don't they? Why? You can row just as fast forwards as you can backwards. Why not?
Why do they go so slow? Fast speed.
Well,
why is there only one reverse gear in the car, but there's 6 to go forward? You know.
Well, yeah, but on a boat, like you can row to the shore, and then you've got to painfully go backwards until you can turn round and then go forwards again. Why not just allow you to row back across the river?
Boats in real life, multiple gears to go forward and one to go backwards.
Yeah, but if you're on a rowing boat and you've crossed a river, you would row backwards across the river. You wouldn't turn the boat round and go back forwards, would you?
Well, most boats have a bow that's shaped to cut through the water and the back end is solid?
Well, not if it's a reversible boat.
You want a canoe?
Why not? The Minecraft boats are the same in the front than they are at the back. Why do they go slower and they go backwards? It doesn't make any sense.
Why do we follow some real life mechanics and we don't? Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. Yeah, you can have it. Sure.
Good idea, Gabby. I think it's a good idea. I don't understand why boats go slow backwards. It doesn't make any sense. It's a good idea. Jeez. Lorenzo, I have a couple. Oh, geez. Oh, okay. This first one I've already got an answer to. Name tags on banners. As much as I would like to use banners on maps, that's a wish too. I would also like to put my name tag on a banner. I play on an SMP. We have a town hall with member banners in it. It would be nice to know whose banner is who. And I'm looking at, without cluttering up the wall with signs. I believe, but I might be wrong, if you rename a banner on an anvil and stand it up, you should have that name on the banner.
Pretty sure it works like that. I know it works like that for campfires, which is weird.
Yeah, I think that will work with banners because they're technically entities. So try it. It might not work, but it works with like some blocks and things. So give it a go. If not, then yeah, that would be a nice idea. Then the second one is the TP command had locate command. Oh, I wish that the TP command had locate command built into it because it would be nice to type TP to a cherry biome or whatever. There's more to that, but I'm paraphrasing. I completely agree with you. There's nothing more frustrating on Bedrock Edition than doing locate structure and then locate biome and then the biome, and then having to try and remember the coordinates to then go into type your command. Because as soon as you go to type in a command, it erases your chat history and you can't see the coordinates anymore. Java Edition solved this by having those coordinates clickable from when you do the locate structure, and then it would just TP you to those, or you can copy and paste them into your command. Why can't Bedrock Edition do that? That'd be great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I'll put good idea for that one.
Yeah. Right. Rocket Dog is up next and says, I think it would be a good idea to have different slab stacks on each other. For example, a brick slab in the bottom and smooth stone slab on. No.
That would be a coding nightmare. An absolute nightmare. No. See, when you put two slabs together, the game doesn't look at it as two slabs. It looks at it as a full block. And therefore, you would have to have a texture for every single combination of potential, which one's at the top and which one's at the bottom. It'd be a nightmare. I mean, sure, they could code it to actually like split the texture halfway up. I'm sure that would be an easier way of doing it. But there's no need for it. If you're finding yourself needing that, you need to build different. Put carpet on top of your blocks, and there you go. You've got a counter. Or a trapdoor.
I don't like that at all. Yeah. No.
Okay, Starhammer88 says, I know it's been said here before, but it would probably be a lot of work, but I wish they would add dogs to Minecraft. We've had this before, Starhammer. Sorry, we don't agree.
No.
Well, I feel mean rushing through these quickly, but it's got to be done.
We've had them. Yeah, no. James K says, why not make the mending enchantment an optional toggle upon world creation?
Absolutely not. Why would you not want mending? It is the best enchantment. I know the developers feel guilty about putting it in, and whichever one it was it Jeb or Dinnerbone says it was the worst thing they've ever added to the game?
Yeah.
I disagree. It is the best thing. If I didn't have mending in the world, it would be awful. No, banned. Fired. Don't ever write it again. If
you want to play the game with your own set of challenges and not use mending, go for it. That's your own choice.
Yeah, why would you want that on a world toggle? Who else is in a queue going, I wish we didn't have mending? What a bunch of weirdos. I'm sorry, James K. Jeez, that's the end of the wish list. Yay! Finally.
Yay!
It's time to go into the questions. But before we do, if you've got a wish and you would like something added into Minecraft, we can 100% guarantee your wishes, should they be deemed a good idea by me and Slap, will be added to the game eventually, unless they're not. So, yeah, write in, email, or feedback form, or join the Discord. All right, starting with questions. We've got our favourite person back again. Our second top tier patron, and what a wonderful question they've got. In fact, there's about 18 questions in this one question.
Yeah, that's not one question. That's like 37. Yeah.
Oh, apparently the banner thing doesn't work. Lorenzo's just tried it. Oh, that sucks. Oh, man. Oh, well. Looks to be you, mate. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry. I'm awful when I'm rushing, aren't I? Jeez,
Yep,
don't get Foxy in a rush. He turns mean. Let's just slow down, Slang. Slow down. Calm down. Let's get Smiley Foxy back and start being nice to people again. Jeez. Okay. How does it feel to be influencers? As much as I really don't like the term influencers because it has really negative connotations. I consider influencers to be those awful people that you see that are pushing their views and ideals onto youngsters and trying to get them to buy prime drinks and watch things they shouldn't be watching on the internet. But I understand what you mean. I'm not going to take it that way. How does it feel to have people that do listen and watch and pay attention and I suppose look up to you in a way? It's strange. I don't know how to really... I don't consider... See, I'm quite a humble person, realistically, deep down. I know I make fun of being expert level 99 and joking around and being mean to people, but I'm not. Deep down, I still feel like I'm below everybody else. I'm still working my way up to be adult and recognised and part of the group. I still feel like the person that's picked last at the football team. You know, I don't feel like I have any power over anybody or have any influence over anybody. So, I don't know. It's a weird one, really. What about you, Slack?
I find it hard not to abuse it.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
In what sense?
Just like any sense of the way, you know. I don't want to be the reason for somebody not to develop their own opinion on something. I'm just giving my own opinion on things, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to manipulate it. We see people do it all the time. So many people manipulate their situations, you know, content creators that abuse and their influence. And I guess to them, it's their own thing, but to everybody, it's going to be different, you know? And it's just...
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it out there. It's just, it's hard not to... You constantly got to watch your morals, I guess is the way to put it. You know, it's like you, okay? You and me, okay? We have some very different political views on a few things. We're not going into political debates here. But that makes it hard sometimes to not go into those political debates. Because we're here for a game.
Yeah.
We're here for a game. We're not here for hot topics. I don't want to know your politics. I don't want to know your religion. I don't want to know how you feel about this. We're here for the game. And sometimes it's hard to separate the game from the personal.
Yeah.
It's a very fine line to walk.
It is, because when you get personal with people, and sometimes even when you don't, it's quite an odd thing, actually. I think these days it's there's for certain people, they're desperate for you to know everything about them in terms of their views and ways and how they are and what they like. And it sounds awful, but I don't care.
I don't care. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I couldn't care less what your political views are, your religious views. As long as you're a nice person, I don't care. I don't care where you came from, what your background is, what you like, what you don't like, who you don't like. I really don't care. And that sounds awful. Yeah. It's not that I don't care about you. I just don't care about your preferences. Do we get along? Are you a decent person? And do we like playing Minecraft together? And if all of those things are ticked, great, fantastic. Let's be friends. So, yeah. Okay.
That's the hardest part. Yeah. All right. Next.
Okay. So I'm going to read a bunch of this out, and then we'll answer stuff. Even though there's a lot of questions in here, but Stitch Fish continues. How would you rate yourselves as Minecraft sales team? You're by all means entitled to your own opinion. Thank you for letting me be entitled to my own opinion. And you
appreciate that. Yeah.
Give it every week on this show and in videos. But do you think you've been overly harsh on the new update? You said in your own words that updates give influencers new material to make content, but you both have done nothing but complain about the new update. Don't take it the wrong way, because obviously we love listening to your opinions and listen every week. Minecraft's your job. As you both say, you don't enjoy it like you used to, but you do feel differently about the updates. Do you feel differently about the updates? If you stop thinking about personal opinion and focus on it being a job, a new marketing tool. Sometimes just a change in perspective can make all the difference. Never sorry for the book. I support with my hard-earned money and any chance I get, your loyal patron Stitch Fix. Okay, we are not Minecraft sales team. Minecraft do not pay us any money, ever. In fact, it costs me money. But you're a Minecraft marketplace partner. Yes, I earn money from the work I do, and I earn a pittance compared to how much Microsoft earns from my hard work for doing literally nothing. I get a very, very, very small percentage of the cut that they take, which is ridiculous. In fact, every single time I sell or make something for the marketplace, I have to buy it out of my own money, giving them more money in order to check that it actually works. So every single month, I am pouring my hard-earned cash into Microsoft and Minecraft because I love the game and it is my job. I am not part of their sales team. I will never be part of their sales team, and I do not feel it is my duty to sell their game. I will, however, enjoy playing their game, make content for the game, and monetize that as much as I can, as I need to, because it's my job. If I have an opinion on something, whether it's good or bad, I will share that opinion because I feel like that's my position and that's what I like to do and people like to listen to it. I don't think I need to consider whether or not these are new marketing materials or not, because at the end of the day, people, as I've proved many times, much preferred me complaining about the game in terms of viewers and subscribers than they do when I'm positive about it. So I'll just be me, playing the game that I love, that yes, I'm not as in love with it as I was when I first started playing it, but I still love it. Jeez, Slack.
You know, the first thing that I'll say about this is the update gives influencers new material to make content, but both of you have done nothing but complain about the new update.
Neither of us have complained about
opinions.
I don't think we've complained about it. We've complained that trims are too expensive, but both of us have said consistently that it's okay. It's fine. Nothing special.
Yeah, I'm happy with
fine.
updates. But I'm not going to blow sunshine and roses up somebody's butt to not say my opinion. That's why we probably will never have an official person from Minecraft on here, because we give our opinion, you know? And that's kind of the whole point of the podcast. Let's separate that from the videos. The videos we play, we do our thing, blah. The streams, we do our thing, blah. But the podcast is more or less, I don't care what podcast you listen to, it is a thing based on opinions.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to change my opinion. My opinion is my opinion, and I'm entitled to it just like you're entitled to yours. Now, if you feel that I'm being negative about it, well, then I would ask you, why are you here if you think that my opinions are only negative?
Or, you know, unless that's what you enjoy listening to. There are a lot of, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there are, in fact, we talked about them briefly earlier in the podcast, or referred to them at least. There are YouTubers, influencers, content creators that are very careful with what they talk about with the game. They will only put a positive spin on things. They will avoid talking about things they find negative. They won't give a strong opinion on it. And that's one of the reasons.
They will avoid it.
That's one of the reasons I wanted to do this podcast, was to give a strong opinion. Because to me, as somebody that is involved with Minecraft to such a degree, when things aren't right, it matters. And I think people need to be aware of that. And the more awareness you can get of problems, the more likely you are to get those problems fixed. Pretending that they don't exist because you don't want to offend anybody, because you hope that at some point, you know, you might get them on your podcast, or they might be in your video, or they might invite you to Minecon. It's not doing anybody any favors. You just you're sweeping the bad things under the rug and sugarcoating the good stuff. And I don't think, I think people that are too together to share their genuine feelings are not disingenuine. They're not genuine about their actual feelings, which is fine. You want to just talk about all the positive things you like about Minecraft and make that your content, great. And obviously it's very successful doing that, the people that do it. But that's not us. We want to be honest. I've always been honest with my feelings. I've always been honest with my opinions. And I've always said that they are my opinions and nobody has to share them. But I like to share mine, and some people agree with me and some people don't. And when they don't, that's fine. Not a problem.
Exactly. It's like hot topics. We leave them out. That's no part of this. But we're all here because we have a passion for this game. And anything you're passionate about, you're going to have good views on, and you're going to have bad views on.
Yeah.
You know? And if there's something with an update that just I don't like, I'm going to be blunt about it.
Yeah.
I don't care if everybody and their brother is saying this is the best thing that they've added to Minecraft ever. We've needed cherry trees forever. Me, I'm just meh. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Farmer trims, meh. Trail runes, I hate. They're rubbish. I think they're the stupidest thing ever.
They are.
They're stupid. They literally just took a joke at us because we've been wanting an inventory update. That's how I feel about it.
That's how I feel.
Does that mean that's what happened? Does that mean that's what it is? No. But I'm entitled to my opinion. I'm going to give my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I love this game. This game is a large part of my life. You know?
If we don't
that's
tell you...
where it becomes hard. That's where it becomes hard to separate the influencers' personal views. To see, this is where it's hard to keep Minecraft in check without going into life stuff.
Yeah. If we didn't give you our full opinions, if we just skirted round the things that we didn't really like and just gushed over the things that we did, would you be listening? Would you be here? Would you care about what we thought? Probably not. You'd probably just get a bit sick of us being so positive about things all the time because you are frustrated about things. If you play Minecraft, there is something that bothers you. We can see that with the feedback we can get. We can see that with the comments we get. We see that with the questions and the wish lists we get. There's something that bothers every single one of you. And it might not be the same thing. It might be something different, but a lot of you can relate to the issues that me and Slack feel. And when people play the game and invest so much into the game as much as we do, we're bound to come across more and more things that we find frustrating. And that makes us more and more relatable to other people that might not play it so much, but have found something frustrating that falls in line with what we've done. So I think we're doing more of a service for the players and the community by being honest.
Stitch in live chat saying, I don't know how to explain what I meant. I don't know what else you want from that question, to be honest with you. I thought this was a real good topic that we just discussed a lot of things on. Yeah. You feel like you're coming away with nothing. Why?
You've asked us a fantastic bunch of questions there. You've opened a can of worms, which I think is brilliant. And it's allowed us to express passionately why we do the things the way we do it. You asked how we rate ourselves as Minecraft sales team. Well, we don't, because we're not Minecraft sales team. Very, very badly. If I was rating myself as a Minecraft sales team, I would put myself at the bottom because I'm not here to sell Minecraft to anybody. I'm here to talk to the people that are already playing it. I'm here to relate to the people that are enjoying it and finding it frustrating. I'm here to give, to feel like people have a voice, to talk about why they're a problem, the issues that exist for them.
I'm just reading from the live chat over here for just a moment. No, I mean, I don't think you complain too much, but you are, as you said, it's content creators that keep Minecraft going. Updates, sell spikes, yeah.
But both of you have done nothing but complain about the new update. If you don't mean to say that, Stitch Fix, then don't say it. What I would do, right?
Yeah.
I think from our interactions recently and over the last few weeks, you are clearly writing things in the heat of the moment. And then, like in today's Discord before we went live, deleting some things. I've noticed you've been deleting a lot of things that you've written in haste. I would advise you to do what I do. When you're feeling that level of emotion into writing something, write it somewhere else first. Write it somewhere else first, give it some time, take a breath, have a coffee, come back to it, and then take that emotion out of it and say what you really mean. Because when you're writing things that then you feel later that, I shouldn't have said that, or I didn't mean it in that way, but it comes across as that way, it's because you've written it in a high state of emotion and you're trying to write things quickly to get your point across. Take your time. We're not going anywhere. We'll be here every single week. You don't have to write it immediately.
There you go. That's one from being a content creator and an influencer. You think that, like, me and him haven't had DMs back and forth, and all of a sudden you'll see Foxy is typing. And
I'm
30
deleting
minutes, Foxy is
everything
typing.
I'm saying because I've written it 1,000 times in different ways. It took me a long time to learn that. And even I fall foul of it sometimes. Sometimes I just can't help myself. In fact, recently I put a big old rant to somebody in my Discord and ended up deleting it after a few hours because I felt bad about it. I'm the worst. I should never, ever open Discord when as soon as I wake up in bed, I'm like, I'll check my phone. I go on Discord and I get instantly wound up because I haven't had my coffee yet. I haven't got out of bed and I shouldn't check it then. So it's a long learning process to just hold back and wait. It's difficult to do, especially when you're passionate about something which you clearly are, Stitch Fix, and so are we.
Not so Blue said you can imply a tone with proper punctuation. No, we put the tone on it. We put the tone on it because you're not accounting for cultural differences or anything in there.
Yeah.
Foxy could say something to me and I'd be like, excuse me, what did you say to me? You know? You think that me and this man haven't had serious fights?
We've gone months not talking to each other because Slack will have taken something I said totally the wrong way. And I'm thinking, Slack's in a bad mood. I better leave him alone. And then a few months later, we're like, you all right, bud? Yeah, I'm all right. What was the problem this time? This, and this. Well, you're a moron. I didn't mean any of that. You called me a moron. That's it. Another 6 months. Jeez.
No, this was before the podcast started. We've had several bouts over our term of knowing each other.
Oh, yes. But we're still really good buddies at the end of it all. Jeez.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Should we move on, Slack?
Yes, we should move on. Yes.
We're really rubbing it in that. You know how we feel about the trails, the Tales and Trails is just the ancient ruins or whatever they're called. Trail ruins are just rubbing it in our faces about the inventory update. I feel like the last podcast was 2.5 hours long. This one's going to be more than that. We're really rubbing it in that person's face that did the feedback. Can you make them an hour long? Because I can't listen because I've got too much to do. I think they're going to be feeling like we're doing it on purpose.
Jen said out there in the chat, someone answers me with a K, I get annoyed instantly because here it's a dismissive whatever. But you all, I'm saying you as British people, you all have one, what is it, right? Okay. That one just burns me up. Oh my God. You might as well be dismissing me. That just.
Yeah.
K, that one sets me on fire.
Gets me. KK is even worse. Jack went through a phase of everything you said, like text him or mote to him, KK. Oh, that really got under my skin. What's the other ones? Bruh and plus.
See,
bruh.
I use K all the time, don't I? I use it all the time.
Yeah, but I've learned from you. I know what it means.
Yeah. It means I acknowledge message resent, Yeah. Because if I have something to say, you're not going to get a K. You're going to get a book.
If I send someone just K, that means I'm not happy about this.
If I send them just K, I'm perfectly fine.
In fact, generally
if I'm not happy,
if I write okay, it means I'm not happy about this. You normally know if I'm happy about it because there'll be a smiley face or there'll be something else. If it's just okay, then there's a problem. Okay. Fine.
See, if I'm trying to be sassy, I will write okay, AY.
No, really,
okay.
Really.
Yeah. If you get that from me,
see,
I'm not happy.
Okay with an AY from me is like okay, yeah, okay. But okay, just okay. That's bad.
Okay with a Y from me, we got issues. We got serious issues.
Right, let's move on. Xenon.
Yes. So it's hello, Foxy and Slack. Foxy, you mentioned TCGS a few times. Have you ever been or would you like to go to TCGS Con?
Yes, I just been to the latest one in Sunderland. I went a couple of weeks ago, the computer game show. Literally been there, Xenon. So thank you for asking. Yes. Was you there? If you did, why didn't you recognize me? This is not good.
Whoa.
You fired? I'm an influencer, don't you know? Jeez.
Oh, God.
Okay, Zenman16 is back saying, hey, Foxy, have you mentioned the update error with the files? Oh, you have mentioned the update error with the files in the wrong folder a few times now. What I'd like to know is, are you dropping them in the right folder yourself to get the benefits of these updates are supposed to give? If so, are you doing this on any servers? Zenman, no, I'm not. I am leaving it exactly how it is because that's not my problem. I will play on the version.
Not my problem. Yeah.
I will play on the versions that developers give us, built right or built wrong.
Squirrelicious is up next and says, when did each of you become full-time content creators, and how did you find a transition from part-time to full-time?
You farts. It's not just me. It's you.
Look, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, no. You want to go first, or
no? You go. I'll finish.
My venture into content creation was more or less all go no quit from the beginning. I've had several dead-end jobs throughout my life. Many jobs I didn't like, temporary jobs, just job to job, bouncing from job to job. I always made the joke growing up that I was designed for a desk, not for a public working job. And to try to make a long story short, went through a failed marriage, ended up back home and with my family, and started, after all that, diving into the world of gaming really hard to just cope and adapt. And things were starting to potentially look up. I started messing around with YouTube. I'd always wanted to do YouTube, but I'd always been talked out of it many times throughout the years. I could take you back in my channel's history to like the beginning of YouTube, where I uploaded videos and I was always talked out of it. Oh, it's a stupid idea. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. And then there was going to be the start of an SMP that never happened, but started making friends with people like Foxy and a few other people. And the biggest thing for me was diving into this dream that I wanted, but not being able to afford to do it. Now, of course, at this time, as I said, I'd had a failed marriage. I was living back at home with my family, and I had no job. And my family was willingly helping me and supporting me and taking care of me. And I knew I could do this. It's something that I always wanted to do. And the truth of the matter was it was either I was going to go find another dead-end job that I absolutely hated, working for about 3 months, then find some reason to quit. And then we'd be right back down the same rabbit hole of rinse and repeat of what I did all my life. And I sat down and I talked to my family. I talked to my mom and Judd. He's not my stepdad. They're not married. I talked to my grandmother and my aunt. We all lived side by side, and the main person I was talking to was my mom and Judd because they live in the same house as me. And you've supported me all throughout my life, every decision I made, good or bad. And I said, give me a year. What's it going to change? You know, you're going to not throw me out to the code, because you never do. You know what I mean? You always support me when I'm down. That's at the end of the day, my family's all you got when times get tough. We've always been able to count on each other. And I was like, give me 1 year. Give me 1 year. We got this new thing that we're starting up. We're going to start this thing with some already established content creators. I know I can do this, and I know I can make it profitable, and I know I can do a job that I've always wanted to do. Just give me a year to do this job. And if I can't get it done in a year, if I can't pull my fair share of weight with the bills, if I can't do this, then I will go out and get some dead-end job that I hate, and we'll go through the rinse and repeat process over and over again. And the biggest shocker that I got was they said, okay, we'll give you a year. We'll give you a year to try to live your dream and do what you want to do. And they did. And during that time, Foxy can attest to it, because we used to record, well, we've always recorded a lot. But like as it all started, we would be sitting and recording, and that my family would constantly run in my room. Need you to go do this. Need you to go do that. Need you to go do this. Need you to go do that. But as it slowly started becoming a thing, I got into Patreon, and I got my YouTube channel monetized, and the way the requests came in started changing. They would come in and be like, hey, when you get done, can you come do this? Or they'd walk in and be like, hey, can you are you recording? Are you live? You know, every now and again they still barge in, you know. But they gave me the year. And at the end of the year, you know, not to go into a great deal about finances, but at the end of the year, I was making more per month than I would be if I was out working a public job at that time. And I was able to pay my fair share of the bills. I was able to help with groceries and everything else like that. And then I got into streaming. And so for me, there wasn't a transition from part-time to full-time. I got blessed. I consider myself to be blessed. Now the stars aligned, and I met up with the right people at the right time, and I had the family that would support me to go through what I wanted to do. It all coincided just right. You know, I happened to become friends with Foxy here, and that was before I was even doing really anything on my channel. I remember the first announcement video for Truly Bedrock that was dropped. I went from like 10 subscribers to like, I don't know, 150 in one day because Silent, Foxy, and Groova all posted their trailers for it at that time. And I was like, holy crap, you know, there's a chance that this may really work, you know? And I could go in, I could talk about this for days. I could, but there was it was an all go for me from the beginning. But yeah.
There you go.
I can't really add much else to that without going into greater detail.
Well, mine's a bit more simple. I was running a business, doing this part-time for a long time, and then COVID hit. I was told that I was in the, critical, basically the highest risk category. Don't go see anybody. Don't go anywhere. Don't go to work. Don't interact with literally anybody. I had no idea how long it was going to last, so I had no choice but to sell my business. So I wound it down as much as I could, got rid of what I could from home, and decided, right, okay, you've got enough money in the bank to probably last a year or two if you absolutely get rid of all of your spending and only live on the very much bare essentials.
I remember us having many chats about that because you were just, selling your business, selling the equipment, man. Many days we sat and just chatted about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't regret it at all. As much as I'm still not making any money, realistically, I'm still, honestly, genuinely, and I know I say this a lot and it's not a sob story. Every single month, I have to take another chunk out of my savings and put it towards the money that I've spent this month. Yep. It is getting less every month, as in taking less out of each month out of the savings. I've made it last a lot longer than I thought, but I have been very frugal, and that's good considering how much things have increased in the last 2 years alone in terms of utility bills and cost of living and food and stuff like that. Especially like Jack going through being 18 and all of the things that costs in terms of cars and driving lessons and stuff like that. So I've made it work. But I do still need to get to a point where I'm actually breaking even, because at some point that what I've got left will run out and there isn't much left. So in fact, Jack was supposed to be going to university next year and I promised him I would pay for his accommodation while he was there. And when I looked at what I had and how much it would cost, it wasn't going to be a viable thing to do without going and speaking very nicely to my parents. And then my parents have already been very nice to me. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Like, you're into this several years now, and so am I. But I can agree with that. You make a lot of money stream. I tell you what, most months I don't even break even.
No.
Most months I don't even break even. Living on maxed out credit cards and everything else. But we're, as Foxy said, each month is getting better. It's taken a lot of discipline to
tell me about it.
Like this. When we started this, I was really bad at the podcast at first. I'm not gonna go this week. I just don't feel like it. I got this going on. I don't feel like doing it this week. It's like us getting together and recording. It takes discipline to get up and do that, because I could think of, I just don't feel like getting up and recording today. I'd rather sleep in. I'd rather go play something else. I don't need to do the podcast today. I got something else to do. But this is our livelihoods. So you got to have the discipline to keep going and do it when you don't want to do it.
I'll tell you what,
I'm sure you have the days.
I found it. Everyone has always said to me, you live within your means, which means the more money you earn, the more money you spend, which is normal.
Yep.
Now, I thought before all this, when I was working for myself and I was earning a decent wage. It wasn't anything to sing home about. Certainly a lot less than most people were earning my age in the similar position. But I was happy with what I was doing. I was working for myself. I was getting around. I was going all over the country, sometimes all over the world, doing what I did. I was my monthly outgoings were a lot. They were probably about £2,500 a month on bills and food and all the other things added up. Particularly fuel. Fuel was a killer because I was driving all the time. So I was really worried. That's why, I thought, okay, I can probably last a couple of years with what I've got, with what I was earning on YouTube and stuff at the time as well, taking into account. But when I actually sat down that first day and decided I'm going to do this, I went through every single subscription I got, every single bill I had, and I found out what was the cheapest way of dealing with it. I cut down my broadband speed. I turned off, got rid of a load of TV packages. I got rid of a load of software subscriptions I didn't need anymore. And that combined with just traveling less, my bills now are less than £1,000 a month, which, considering the cost of council tax and utilities, is ridiculous. And that's food included, food and fuel included. I'm managing my bills are now less than £800 a month. So that just shows you how little I'm earning. The fact that I'm still eating into my savings. So,
mine's about the same way. Yep.
That doesn't take into account. The thing is, though, that you end up, you go away, or your Christmas comes along, birthdays comes along. If you factored all that into it and worked that out monthly, it's a lot more. But in terms of my general day-to-day bills, that's what it's about. There you go. Right. Okay. Let's get through these last couple of questions.
Yes. Is it me or you?
It's me, the Night. So I've seen a bunch of folks talk about recently in other servers about how big the UI differences between Java and Bedrock are. What are the biggest UI differences? Currently, honestly, I don't recall any significance. But excluding the game menus, in-game, the major differences are, I guess, the achievement system's different, as in the pop-up achievements. The recipe book system's completely different on both of them. Java Editions is awful. Bedrock Editions was better, but I don't know if that's going to change now we've got a recipe unlocking. I think a couple of the crafting table UIs are not crafting table, but you know what I mean. The workbench UIs are a little bit different, but realistically, there's not a lot of massive difference between the in-game UIs.
The only two big differences that I really dislike is the chat differences.
Oh, yeah, chat massively different. Coordinate system different. F3 screen different. Yep. Books are not interactive in Bedrock. In Java Edition, you can run functions from books and have things clickable and all sorts of stuff like that. You can't do that on Bedrock. No. There's a lot of differences, just subtle ones, really. Nothing major.
Nathan's up next and says, "Hello, podcast crew. What do you guys think of the Twitter rebranding to X?"
Jeez. I don't want to go into a long thing here. Before
time will tell.
Before Elon Musk bought Twitter, I genuinely was one of the people that thought, he's switched on, he knows what he's doing, his head's in the right place, he's got this. And then he bought Twitter, and I just think he's the biggest moron on this planet. What an absolute moron. The decisions he's made, the way he's gone about doing it, his brazen arrogance towards the people that have been on that system for years longer than he has. And then to now do this, I mean, he is smart. Money's always gone to him. He's always done well. Maybe it's what it needs. Maybe it will be good. Maybe all of this hype will bring more people to it rather than push them away. At the end of the day, any publicity's, not even bad publicity is good publicity, or whatever they say. So maybe it'll do it good. I honestly hope it crashes and burns. I don't need it. The only reason I'm on there is because I feel like I should be. And, it's important for an influencer to have a Twitter presence, but I don't use it.
I don't use it. The only reason I even have a Twitter account was because when I started doing YouTube, there was an auto built-in integration where you could post your videos to Twitter. And everybody's like, you got to do this.
Yeah.
No.
Stitch Fix said, an influencer? Yeah, I'm saying that tongue-in-cheek because that's what we referred to earlier. That was a joke.
No. Yep.
Okay, White Bush says, hello again, guys. Just finished watching your great Magnet Boots add-on video. Very well explained throughout. But quick question on the function. What happens if your inventory is full? Let's say you're digging along Nether Tunnel and you have no more space for Netherrack. Will you start dragging thousands of blocks with you, hoping they despawn? Or should the boots turn off until you've reached your room in your inventory again? And there's a couple of questions here. Yes, they'll all start following you, but only from a certain distance. It will probably get quite laggy. So, pick them up or burn them. Do something with them. Or, this was a how to make add-ons one. Change it, fix it, make your own. What happens when an item is between 2 or more players with magnet loops on? I don't know. Assume it'll go to the closest one, whichever one's closest. I imagine it will be the closer they are, the stronger it should pull it in. So I would imagine that will be the case. Does it go to the player within the shortest distance? Would the constant calculating cause any significant lag? I don't think it'd be significant. It depends how many items there were. But then if you've got loads of items in your game, it's going to be laggy anyway. Not at all trying to find faults, just hoping to help head off possible issues. Keep up the great work. I don't consider the Magnet Enchantment add-on like an official supported add-on. It was done for a how-to video. It's not on my add-ons list. Yep. It's on my how-to one. So it's not something that I really... I wouldn't say it's polished and finished. It was just done for the sake of, here, guys, this is how you can do this. So if you've got those questions and you think I can make this better, then do it. Take what I've taught you and make it amazing. And then give it to me to sell it. Thank you.
Sounds good. Yep. Next one is from Downloadable Duck, and they say, last week you covered Googling things, but what if you are searching through Microsoft Bing? Are you Microsofting something? Why would you use Bing?
Yeah, exactly. My response to that is, no, you're not Microsofting something. You're a moron.
No.
No. A lot of people use Bing because it's on their work computers or their school computers. They don't care. It's the first one that pops up. Like, my dad will happily use any... when you've been on the internet and you press the wrong button, you end up with some like dodgy malware browser that's got all sorts of different colours and it sends you to all sorts of different websites and fills your computer with viruses. You ever had one of those?
I don't remember.
Oh, I've had a bunch of them in my time. My dad gets them regularly. And he's happy to not even notice it's not Google. He's typing in like rude name search.
Oh, my mom's notorious for getting those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what is this search engine? I just loaded it up and it said search. No.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So I don't think people notice. So you're not a moron if you use Bing. But if you're aware that Google exists, and there's no reason why you can't set your homepage to Google instead of Bing and make that that jump and have a better web experience. So if you know how to do that and you haven't, then you're a moron. If you don't, that's not your fault. Right.
Good talk.
Okay, that is the end of the questions, which of course means we are at the end of the podcast. If you would like to ask us a question for next week's show, you can do by emailing us news@theblockupdate.com, filling out the feedback form on the website, or joining our Discord. As a polite reminder, I'd like to remind you that we are supported by Patreon. If you would like to go over to patreon.com/theblockupdate, the prices are per podcast, and we would very much appreciate even just $1 a podcast would make all the difference to us and help us continue to keep Slack's parents happy that he's earning enough money to not have to go back to work.
And that Foxy can stop pulling out of his savings account every month.
Yes. It's not all that's left to say yet, is it? We've got to do the social. Slack, what are you doing this week?
Videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as normal. There might be some bonus videos coming on Saturday. And streams are just random. I would always say, make sure you're following on Twitch if you want to know when streams happen.
Yep. I will be putting out videos and streaming when I can. And Doug Shot, no more videos for a while back, guys. I'm sorry about that. And I'm sorry to Not Blue Sheep and to Irish Viking, whose questions in the live questions we didn't get to because we're 3 hours in, guys. I'm sorry. Jeez, all that's left to say is the same thing I say at the end of every single podcast, and that is, if you want me to say the exact thing at the end of every single podcast, then you must think I'm someone else.
Or you better have deep pocketbooks.
Thank you all very much for listening, and I thoroughly appreciate all of you. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.